Welcome to another episode of Let's Just Talk About It with your amazing host, Jessica Simone, me. And tonight's topic is white people. What made you start deconstructing? It was a very interesting conversation that we had. And I think it's important that we continue to deep dive into those conversations and get down to some of the roots of the issues and how moving forward we can come together, deconstruct, and then even what's the word I'm looking for? Encourage others to do the same, right? See the error in their ways. You don't have to always live in hate. It must be miserable, tiring, and exhausting to live in hate. Racism is just hate and a lot of self hate too. Let's help free one another. Okay. We have a few of our amazing guests already on the panel. Of course, you guys already know Saji, one of the best out there, okay? Very passionate, beautiful, intelligent, witty, very fucking funny. We have Andrew on the building. Long time no see. Nails always eat down. And we have Angel as well, who is always going to keep us on top of our mother king voting laws and keep us on track, which I can greatly appreciate. And which Thursday, me and Angel will also be talking about what will be on the ballot November 4th in Texas as far as the proposition goes. What do they mean and how should you vote? Okay. So definitely join us Thursday at 7 p.m. in regards to that. Tomorrow is We Are What's Left Wednesday. We will have Alina. We'll be talking about how pretty much America doesn't like women. All right. Fight me. And then on Friday, we have Fundraiser Friday, in which we will do a few battles. We'll be playing hood charades, and we may even do a little bit of 90s throwback music session as well, in which we'll be raising funds to go to the Capitol for some progressive movements and fight for some legislator with a few of the other creators who are here and a part of We Are What's Left. And also want to support Bree Woodson, who is running for Congress in Georgia, you guys. She will be running up against the woman who called the ICE and falsely accused them of having illegal in quotation marks, undocumented immigrants undocumented immigrants, in which they were just there to teach Americans how to do their job for their, I think, 4 billion. It's some billions in there. It was a lot of money that they had invested in their manufacturing company in Georgia. And now they said, you know what? Bring my people back home. We ain't finna be fucking with y'all. So we have a lot planned this week, including tonight. So thank you all for being here. Welcome in. Now, Saji, did you want to finish your statement? And then I'll introduce also to Andrew and Angel and let them have a word before we get started. And obviously, if there are any white people in the comments, please, we encourage you to come up on the panel and talk about your deconstructing phase and, the things that you have done for sure. All right, go ahead, Saji. And you asked a really good question too beforehand and before we was on YouTube. And I would like for you to also to, whenever either in the beginning or the end, also to thank you for the corgi. Sachi, I appreciate that. Yeah, I would definitely like you to repeat that one more time for the people in the back.
Yes. So my question was we had a justice panel where we were discussing this topic. And one of the common themes that, I was able to observe was the fact that a lot of the people that came up and talked about their deconstruction journey had some sort of trauma happen to them or some sort of bad experience happen to them personally by their white tea parents or white tea pastors, preachers, white tea partner. So that kind of led them to question white tea people and kind of kickstarted their deconstruction process. What I wanted to know is there anybody who is white tea who didn't go through or suffer anything at the hands of white tea people, that just looked at the way this country was being ran, at the way that minorities were treated, and said something is wrong, let me look into it, without having experienced anything themselves? Is
Hmm.
that possible?
Which I personally think is a good fucking question. Does it take personal trauma to realize that what's going on to the majority or the minorities, the marginalized community, for you to want to do something. And so, are you only doing it for you, or um, are you doing it for you, or are you doing it for us? And that's a really good question to answer. Yeah, where the hell did that just go? Okay, but yeah, Andrew, welcome in as well. How are you?
I'm good, love. How are you? Hey,
I'm
Saj.
am-
Hey.
I'm amazing. How is it going? Sorry, y'all. I know I'm working on some things, but I get it. But yes.
I'm I'm doing pretty well. I can't complain. And if it's okay, I would like to answer Saj's question real quick before we get into it.
Mhm. For
I'll
sure.
leave that up to you. Um, for me personally, there wasn't anything that happened to me. I've said this kind of from the beginning. I think I've always kind of been aware, but it wasn't really until Palestine and all that stuff started happening that it really made me take a step back, because I've always kind of stated like what we do outside these walls is probably something we do inside these walls.
Mhm.
And so that was kind of where my journey heavily began. Wow, I
Mhm.
kind of begun. So for me, like I didn't personally experience any hardships. It wasn't me going through any personal issues through white people or X, Y, and Z. Can't say that that hasn't happened since deconstructing, but my progress definitely all started from an external, and then it made me go internal.
So, okay. And then Angel, welcome in. How are you?
Hello. Um, I have a couple questions for Andrew, are you YT?
Yes, I would classify myself as YT. My mom's like I got my DNA test. I am half Mexican, but I would definitely say I classify more as white than from the Latin background.
Okay, come in.
Okay. One of my questions would be, so privilege, how much of your life depends on it, basically?
Can you specify?
Your
Like,
job, your school, do you think that without your privilege you would have gone to those places that you went to?
oh, well, for schooling, I'm actually going back to school here. I don't have a college degree, but I definitely think there are opportunities that were presented to me given that status, right, of not having a college degree. I was given a lot of opportunities that, in hindsight, I think came from a place of privilege, because we all work hard, right, at the end of the day. And as much as I can say, oh, yeah, I worked hard for my accolades, that's what everyone does. So, definitely in hindsight, I could definitely say that some of those opportunities that were presented to me were definitely from a place of privilege.
So like what kind of things are you able to like tell me, because I'm really trying to, like research this of the kinds of opportunities that YT people are presented in their life that we're not. You said accolades or something?
Accomplishments. So I was a professional dancer. Even the dancing career, what a lot of people don't really know is how actually political it all is. For example, there are typecastings. So there are specific jobs that a person could book only based on what they look like. And typically, people of my complexion are the most sought out. It's just, it is what it is. I also was in fitness and worked without any back experience, worked at one of the world's most known gyms and was hired on the spot. And again, I was a member, so I knew of the system. I worked really hard, but I do like there were people that I was competing against that had years of experience in the fitness industry that didn't get the job. Meanwhile, I had very little experience in the fitness industry and was given the job.
Yeah, I've been I guess I've never never really been picked for jobs often. Well, a couple times, the times that I had one, um, but I never really got picked, even though I have a degree and um, I've always been a good worker. So
And that
it's
is another
crazy to
thing
just get a job.
when it comes to affirmative action and DEIA. There, like you said, you're a good worker. Also too, just like Andrew said, you didn't have any experience and you've seen people who have had plenty of experience and could not get the job. So that's the thing when they say it's not about like merit based, it's about like people who are experienced who could obviously do the job are getting looked over for, the white or white presenting man to get the job, even if they don't have any qualifications, including this entire administration, as we see. So, when they say it's not real, it's absolutely real. And things that like getting a job, going to school, which is, with the video that we watched about the guy who went to school with Charlie Kirk, excuse me, who did that? The guy who went to school with Charlie Kirk, who said that he didn't get into West Point, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, some black guy stole my position at West Point." But they never think that they're just may not qualify. So if they get rid of that, they can go back to nepotism. They can go back to racism. They can go back to privilege, and not even necessarily always getting the fucking job done. But that we go to school, we do this and the other, we work hard, we get the experience, and still we're not offered the opportunity. And that's why they say white women, because white women are being discriminated against too. Angel, I know you're not white. You're like mixed race, correct?
Well, I consider myself Mexican American.
Yeah. And so,
So yeah.
so she's not, getting a job either. Because again, to Alina's point, they don't like they don't like black women. I mean, they don't like women. America doesn't like women. So, but always again, too, white first is what seems to be the thing. So, and this is not again not an attack or anything. What were your thoughts when they were like police, like the George Floyd, the Trayvon Martins, the Tamir Rice, and all those things, the Philando Castile, the Breonna Taylors, the Sandra Bland's, like, what were your thoughts on that? What was it? Why was it the Palestine thing that got you?
Me, is this my
Andrew.
oh okay. I don't know
I mean,
much
that's
about
privilege. Me just
Palestine.
kind of jumping ahead of the line. Sorry.
No, no, you're fine.
But yes, was very aware of those things and have spoken up about those things. But I definitely, at one point or another, I think kind of acted the way a lot of white people act, like, oh, that's somebody else's issue. I'm sure someone's going to step up and make things better.
Mhm.
Which again is a place of privilege, right? Where you think someone else is going to come do the workload for you that you should be doing.
Mhm.
And so I think for Palestine, for me, what felt different than the Breonna Taylors and the George Floyds is at the moment it started going down, it felt like no one was speaking about it. And I felt immediately in my soul, like, oh, well, then maybe that's where I start. Maybe I just start with speaking. Versus with the Breonna Taylors and the George Floyds, everyone kind of started speaking about it right away. And I think we all remember the stupid black box that was posted on Instagram. Um, so I definitely acknowledge my error, right, of waiting, kind of like that, the hero complex, waiting for someone else to save the day instead of standing up and doing it ourselves. And I wish I could go back and change it, but
Mhm.
I can only do better going forward.
Mhm. Got that. Go ahead, Angel.
The George Floyd thing, that not only does it make me mad still and sick to my stomach, and I still can't watch the whole thing. Um, the way they're using it today, how they compared MLK and CK,
Mhm.
it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not even nowhere near the same thing. It's not even a comparison. That's why they won't get me to even go down that fucking conversation with them. Everybody's in here, please tap the screen, share the live with a friend or so. We are having a conversation about why people start deconstructing. Is it the serial unalivers? Is it the white Jesus? Is it your parents? What? I thought you were not feeling. I'm not. I wasn't. I took some Tylenol. I finally ate. So, but I'm trying to be consistent. And then I ain't gonna lie. We was just kind of shooting the shit for a second. Then Ellen got me hype as fuck, and then I went on and brought it into YouTube. So at least trying to get a few people up here again. If you guys have another device, y'all know what it is. Drop it up in the 2B so we can get those hours. We need as many as we have. I have a playlist called Live on my YouTube. So if you guys like would click on that and press play all in your spare time, that would be amazing. So I do definitely want to get into like if any. Hey Oya, how you doing, love? If you guys are not following Oya, please do so. And the Yajima Syndicate, you guys. Oya is doing a lot of great things with the syndicate to the Ujima means a collective work and responsibility that's the heartbeat of everything that they do. So basically, she have a bunch of creators to help build the community through dialogue, support mental, emotional wellness, and center marginalized voices, along with a lot of other things. So definitely, please, please, please give her a follow if you guys have not done so already. And okay, and so again, if there are some white people in here, hey Southern Fried, how you doing, boo? I want to kind of get into discussing how childhood teachings has shaped your racial understanding. Yeah, we can start there. So I'll start in the top and then we'll go to you, Andrew. How has childhood teaching shaped racial understanding for you? And this could obviously be in any type of way and for anybody. I know, right, Tania? Okay, D.
Childhood, my parents raised me to that we're all equal. That nobody's better than you, and
Son,
um,
hey, baby. Sorry, y'all. Go ahead.
just that we're equal. And so I'm not saying that I don't see color because like Cosmo said today, the police see color.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it doesn't mean um that I'm like super racist. I don't think, right?
Mm-hmm. But like, what have they taught you about? Um, what have they taught you about like racism or racial
Not
understanding?
really much. Not they never really like dove into detail about so we treat people like this and like in separate groups and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up together. We lived together in neighborhoods. We learned English from people who are black.
Mm-hmm.
They're they're like family, you know.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever notice that you've had any type of privilege?
Me, yes, I
Mm-hmm.
do have privilege. My dad was a cop.
Mm.
I
And like,
had privilege.
and what type of like, what's an example of a situation where you realize like, oh, okay, this is a privilege that I have, not just by knowing, but like an experience.
So one time they were gonna raid my house, and
Rate your house for what?
long story, okay,
Okay, okay, okay, okay,
we
okay,
all
okay,
do some things.
okay, okay. Got you.
And what had happened, I ended up, picking somebody up who lived with me. And while we were out there at the car wash, I was detained.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were saying how they were getting a search warrant for my house. And I was like, my dad's a cop.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't go through with the search warrant because it would have been illegal as well what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And since my dad's a cop, we have the same lawyers as them.
Mm.
And I've gotten out of a couple tickets as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's privilege, and I'm so grateful for that because I could have been in jail right now
Mm.
so many times.
Everybody get you a cop daddy. I heard something on the bottom floor that shook my computer a little bit, so I was just trying to figure it out. But yeah, what about because are I can't see you necessarily from your picture. Are you white presenting?
Do you want to see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then.
Mm-hmm. He was whipping work. We was whipping work. I'm hollering. and
My hair.
if so,
Let me
hey,
take this
what?
off.
Let me see. Because it's so small. Hello, gorgeous.
I have my hair up right now, but
I guess it could depend on the day. Mhm. Mhm. You look pretty though.
thank you.
Come on, tissue. Yeah, that's what I guess it could depend on the day. But so do you feel like at any time do you feel like you've had just say instead of saying white privilege or white privilege over minorities or black or people of color?
No,
We've never
never.
seen your beautiful face. I know, right?
I'm brown. Right now I'm really gross because I've been outside. Uh, and I had my hair up before I turned on my camera. I'm putting it back up.
Oh, you look fine.
I'm
You're a
all
beautiful
sweaty.
angel. I know, right?
Aw,
Like an angel.
thank you. I'm all sweaty.
um, welcome in, Kimmy. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. How about yourself?
I can't complain.
Good deal.
It doesn't help anyway.
Never does.
um, what made you start deconstructing?
So the reason I haven't come up on these lives yet is because I don't really know how to answer that.
Mm-hmm.
So in my family, we grew up when grew up on the res, and then I've always been around people of every color, shape,
Mm-hmm.
size. Everybody called my grandma mom. I mean, it was always fully a bunch of people around. So it was never anything like that. I'm sure there was probably something somewhere, but I was never exposed to it too much.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw any problems with anybody, but I know that it existed.
Mm-hmm. How did you know
And
they existed?
just seeing other people and the way they acted towards people of other colors or just anything. Um, it's just always been there. And then I grew up I'm an 80s baby. So I was, alive and saw the Rodney King stuff and Reginald Denny and all that. And I, I actually lived in Escondido, California when all that stuff was happening. So it was all over the news when all that stuff happened. And then just the way, like during the OJ trial, just seeing everybody and how they all went along with that. And you could just tell
Mm-hmm.
there was hate just because of, a person's skin color and instead of really knowing how people really were. So I don't know. It's just we've always had more so blended families. There's literally a little bit of everybody in our family. So,
Do
like I
you
said, there might.
do you remember the first time that you heard someone around you say something racist?
Um, family wise, no. Other people, specifically close to me, didn't happen until I moved out here to Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And I live in Kansas City now. I moved out here when I was 15 years old, and most definitely. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually have an aunt and uncle who aren't outright, but they are. And I could slowly see little inklings of that, and found out more so when I was 19 and got pregnant. And my
Your baby daddy
uncle,
black?
yeah.
Mhm.
My husband, yes, he is.
Oh, come on. Yes, they wish you go black. You never go back. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah, but that's another story for another day. 25 years and we ain't there no more. He's still my baby. I love him to death, but he just has some issues he needs to get taken care of. Anywho,
I believe.
but hey, I wrote down 10 years with him, so you know. But anyhow, my uncle's wife, I don't call her my aunt no more, and really he's not really my uncle anymore, but had the nerve to ask me, why don't I just get rid of it? Yeah. And so
they voted for Trump, right? Were they pro-lifers?
I don't know.
They pro-life until you get pregnant by a black man, okay?
I don't know what they vote for, and I don't really care. I don't associate that with that part, but one of my cousins has now had a baby by a black man. So one of her daughters. So it's interesting.
Karma be a bitch, don't it?
Man, I kind of wonder how that has gone on. And you know, my husband's 7 years older than me. He has 2 older boys who I love to death, but their grandmother rather, was hella racist. Like literally her and my mother-in-law used to go back and forth calling each other all kind of names. You'd have to know the area. They grew up, if anybody knows Kansas City, they're from Belton, which is like might as well be Alabama. So it was just a different time and place. But his older boys were born in the early 90s, so it was even worse than when my son was born in 2001. So it's been a lot, and so that's why I hesitated coming up here, because I know like there's stuff that's I've gone through that has definitely, I've seen other stuff. My mother-in-law cracks up at me all the time, because I'll tell her, I'm like, I hate white people, and it's only it's like certain people, because I hear the hate and I hear the way they talk about people, and I'm like, what the, like, even on lives, watching the way people talk to y'all, I'm like, when people pop up and say the N-word and stuff, or just stupid for no reason. They don't know you. They don't know you as a person. They don't know your heart, anything about you. And it's irritating as I'll get out. And then like the stuff about the black pilots, I worked at the airport. Do you know how much training we had to go through just to freaking spray the planes off with this stuff that allows you to fly? You think they're going to let somebody just get up in the airplane? Hey, let me click some buttons and fly.
Exactly. So what do you
so sorry.
Oh no, don't be sorry. What do you damn, I forgot what I was about to ask you. Oh, so some of them were covert, some of them were overt. I'm assuming, since your mother-in-law and your mom go back and call each other names.
No, not my mama.
Their mother.
His other baby's mama, her mother, and like literally she worked for the highway patrol, and if he would go out there with her, her daddy one time went out to the car and took the spark plugs out of the car so they couldn't leave, and then called the cops on him. And yeah, when I tell you, these are all stories I heard, because this was all way before my time. But like just hearing the random stuff, and like my mother-in-law and my auntie had to go out there to go get him, and they like, what the hell are you doing out here? Why are you out here with these people? And she would call the cops on them all the time, and she worked for the highway patrol, so she could get them arrested just by saying, hey, there's a black dude out here, get him, basically.
What did they say why they don't like black people?
Oh, I don't talk to them. I don't know them.
No, I'm just saying, like, even like your aunt and your uncle and his wife. Or the people in Kansas City.
Yeah, my aunt and uncle, I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell at first when we first moved out here, because we moved out here because they were out here and said it was, you can get houses easy and all that. And so I'm sorry.
No, you good. She said that smoke detector black, because usually black people either be online or on a video or on the phone. They always have that smoke detector that be. Girl, sorry. You damn sure got a black baby daddy, okay?
I gotta get up.
Taylor, you're a fucking stupid bitch.
I'm sure I gotta carry a chair.
It's okay. It's totally fine. Okay. And mine went out like a month ago or something, I probably would have let it go. But for some reason, it's loud, like louder than I've ever heard a fucking smoke detector before. They don't let you play in these apartments, so I literally had to call them. But you can't go to sleep. You can't ignore
Yeah,
it.
it really is. It's been going off since like day before yesterday. And yesterday I didn't feel good. So I said forget it. I just let it go. And today
It's okay,
I
baby. Black people
I
be
ain't
letting that thing go for years.
but no, as
It's
far
a
as my
black thing, Kimmy. It's probably in hood charades too. When we play it on Friday, that might be one of them. One of the answers and questions. I ain't gonna lie. But did you ever ask anybody like why are you racist or why you don't like black people?
um not in like real life situations because I don't be around people like that. I don't like if I see them out in the stores or something and they say something, I'll say something to them, but more than less so I'm just yelling at them or cussing at them
Like
because
your family members, like if they say something to somebody, like what is your response?
I don't be around them.
Yeah.
So my aunt and my uncle. Number one, my uncle is crazy. You can actually Google him from in Florida. He went on a high speed chase. Told the excuse me TikTok and all. He literally told the policeman that he was gonna do something to his wife and his police dog, and he's crazy. Yes, I have a crazy family, so I don't even.
Let me tell you, white people claim that they care about animals. They really don't.
Mm.
Oh,
Okay.
oh no, he was like on some bestiality type stuff. My
He
uncle
said,
is
"I'm gonna
nuts.
fuck your police, your
Pretty
wife,
much,
and your
yes.
dog. You gonna
And
fuck
your
the
dog.
police dog
I promise you to.
and
I
your
thought it
little
was.
dog too."
I
I
thought you
pro-
were saying like fuck the dog, like fuck your mom and her
No,
dog, but
literally,
no,
like he
no,
wants
no,
to.
literally.
like literally, because he was so
Thank you,
high and
Eli.
drunk and and then as far as his ex-wife, I don't associate them with them at all. I don't even associate with my cousin. Like her brother posted some stuff about Trump, and then I get my sister. I don't have any of them on social media. My sister told me that she liked something on there, so then I found her on TikTok and went under. She had a picture of her and her black baby, and I just went off on her. I said, "Oh, like how do your people feel that you support a racist rapist and all kind
Hmm.
of other stuff?" She was like, "What are you talking about?" Some other ladies like, "How could you do that under such a well?" Because it's the only way I know how to get a hold of the heifer, and she's being stupid. That's why.
Hmm.
So it's I don't like to associate with anybody. Like basically, I'm done with. I don't need you in my life.
Hmm.
So I don't know. That's why I
I
said I don't really know how to answer the questions
No, because
because
I got different questions. Because obviously, at some point in life, you'll experience some type of white privilege. You'll
oh
experience,
yeah,
obviously, your family members saying and doing certain things that contributes to it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
if you don't mind, I would love for you to continue to stick around. Andrew, I want to ask you as well. What are some how childhood teaching shaped your racial understanding? Like like what you thought initially beforehand. I want
Yeah,
Andrew skincare, right? Mhm.
Look at that. What the hell is this
I love my
mess?
Mhm. Oh,
skincare.
and
Why
really
are
quick
you
before you
sitting
answer,
on?
can I see your nails? Yeah, your nails are like always cute. They always eat down. Okay, I saw your last video, so I just wanted to check them
I
out for
love this.
sure.
Can you ask your question again? I got distracted. Sorry.
No, you're good. Um, Damn, where was it at? Oh, how childhood teachings have shaped your like racial understanding before you started deconstructing. Hey, Bree.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't think I can answer that question because in our household, we never really addressed it, if
Mhm,
that makes
mhm,
sense.
mhm.
Um,
But did they not
like,
want you to date outside your race or anything?
nope, like that
Mm,
wasn't a thing. Like, my
mhm,
parents, they love everybody, kind of like what Angel said, you treat everyone the same. You know what I mean?
mhm,
I think for my household, where our racism draws that line is learning the system that is racism. Like I wasn't taught that, right? I wasn't I wasn't aware of getting pulled over by, the police that I should be afraid for any reason,
mhm,
other than I did something wrong. Versus now, a person of, especially in today's climate, getting pulled over really installs fear in a lot of people. You know what I mean? So like for us growing up, like my neighbors, Andrew, do you hang around with queer whites? No, I don't. I don't hang out with any white people. But growing up, like I played basketball, I played sports, so I was around people of all different. Sorry, Taylor. I was around many different people of many different colors and many different sizes. So, and you know, as a kid, I grew up in a very conservative. I know I'm in Orange County. I'm in LA area, but there are still very conservative areas here. And you know, I definitely have heard people say racist remarks, and I will always be the first to step up, and I will always interact with those people who try to make those comments. Specifically for me, what I can relate to is more so being queer. I grew up in the area where I was bullied for being queer my entire life, even to this day, you know? And so that to me was where I was like, well, that's weird. Like, why are people bullying people based off this instances? And that's where I started to notice a lot of people don't necessarily come out blatantly with those remarks, but it's always the ones that come from under the breath, right? Like, oh, you sounded really educated, or wow, that was so eloquent.
Microaggression.
You know, like that's the thing that I would hear, that at the time I didn't realize those were microaggressions, but now with education and hearing about the systemic racism and all those different things, I wished we were taught that as a younger, you know, at a younger age. But
Because I remember even being younger and they're like, oh, you talk very well. And I remember feeling some type of way, but I was like, thank you. Like, what the fuck does that mean? But I didn't know they were microaggressions because I was young and I'm young, naive, and happy go lucky. They used to call me a fucking jolly green giant, y'all. I've came a long way from with my naivete, whatever.
Girl, in college, I had this white old lady um who lived literally next to me, and nobody would come visit her. So she would sit outside in her like little chair, like I don't know, some kind of like just I don't know, camping chair. And she would be like, "Oh, you know, I really like you. You're one of the good Mexicans." She was like, "Look at you, and like you're so smart and this and that." And I was like, "Bitch." And she's like, "I just don't like when these Mexicans come here and they speak in Spanish and, you know, they party and they do all these things." And I was like, "Where are you from?" She's like, "Well, I'm American." I was like, "Yeah, but where did you come from? You're not native." And she's like, "Well, see, my family came from Europe, but back in my age." I said, "Girl." And she told me about how they used to beat them. Like she said that they used to beat them if they spoke anything other than English, which I'm like, well, what the fuck were you speaking? But she would get in trouble, and other people would get in trouble.
What were they
And
speaking? French?
I want probably, but you know, it's like it's always like this, like I don't know, and like this backhanded compliment of, oh, you're so well spoken, you're so smart, or you're so determined, you're so successful, and
You
it's
one
like
of the good ones. If you say you one of the good ones to everybody, maybe it's a group of good ones. Just like they say, oh, all these serial unalivers, they just got mental issues. If a good bulk of white men have mental issues, there's no reason they should be running this country. There's no reason they should be running a fucking country. And like Mitch said, like I hated when they said I was cute for a dark. I hated that. Not saying like I hated hearing that. I'm like, the bitch is just beautiful. The fuck is what you talking about? You know, for a darker nothing. Now if I was like, oh, you're pretty for a white woman, or you age well for a white
We do not eat well. I'm sorry.
then I'd be a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
listen, I've seen white tea women who are good people, and they look good compared to their counterparts. It's usually the super racist ass white tea people that look like you put a thing of bacon and forgot about it, like just scrambled up.
Hate is heavy. Hate is fucking heavy.
No
We're,
hairline at 25, like it's bad.
we're watching Carol Caroline, Luma, everybody that's in this administration. We're watching. Hate is fucking heavy, 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 heavy. Southern Fried, welcome into the chat. How you doing? Actually,
Hey,
give me
sis.
1 second, beautiful. Saja, can you make a mod announcement? Let me go grab my heat pad real quick, y'all.
I got you. Guys, we got 54 people in this live. Jess has a goal right there. It's 222. If everybody just sends 111 on the Cash App, 111, we will knock out the goal super, super quick. We are here supporting a Black woman creator, and their labor is not free. So send your cash, show how deep your pockets are, support her, tap and share the live. Send it to your 3 favorite people and to 3 people that owe you money, okay? And if you happen to have white tea people on your friends list, send it to them too, because we want to hear their story, okay? You know, I like to get messy. Send it to 3 you like, 3 you don't like. And then keep supporting, show love to the panel, send your team heart, do all the good things. Jess had a little bit of a stomachache today, and she still showed up for us, so we should show up for her. Thanks.
Oh my gosh,
He
Sergeant.
said, my pockets are deep as a toddler pool. What'd you say, Southern?
No, that was me. I was looking at your picture of Lauren Loomer and the Purge thing. That's a perfect match.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Look at that!
Somebody put her in the oval. That's all I gotta say about that. Take her.
Is that
Take
Annabelle?
her. Huh?
Is that Annabelle?
Yes, it is. Take her. Please, immediately to the White House. Immediately. Yes. Hi, y'all. Hi. Good to see y'all.
No, I agree. We got to put it out there into the universe. Listen, there's something very powerful happening right now. I don't know how much you guys believe in energies. Everybody and their mama is getting sick, okay? All kinds of sick, all kinds of weird bodily pains. It's happening. It's going around. I know a lot of people. But also,
I've been putting it in here.
you got to be careful with the words you say, good and bad, because they're coming true right now. So put it onto the universe. Annabelle, the White House tour 2025. Everybody just do a bunch of posts, or dry it up, do a little watercolor project, whatever it is. light a little candle at night.
I have a list, okay? I have a list of those that I am putting the energy out into the world. Do y'all want to know who's on my list?
The list of what?
Of those who are on the list to be kirked. or raptured. We could just call it raptured. Yeah, that's fine. Raptured. Okay. Obviously Pete Hegseth, Stephen Miller, Pam Bondi, obviously the orange, asshole. Who else?
They all are Christians, but they didn't believe in. It's funny they didn't believe in that rapture at all.
Right. Mike Johnson also on my list. Linda McMahon also on my list. Amy Coney Barrett on the list. Clarence Thomas on the list.
How do you think he would feel about them reversing interracial marriage?
I hope it happens.
Just for him. Just for him.
Yeah.
Just like they risked everybody else for one person themselves. Hey, Daddy's girl, thank you.
Just for him and Jeannie, because they are the fucking worst.
This live is for entertainment purposes only, you guys.
Yes, Annabelle is just in the oval for fun and games. Annabelle is chilling. She's on vacation. That's all. She wanted to go sightseeing. Duh.
Ken Paxton has been under investigation from the moment he became Attorney General.
Did you hear what he just did today?
Besides going to Turning Point USA?
No.
What did he do?
Don't get me started. He has now announced that he's going to have secret police that infiltrate leftist groups.
Well, that's part of Project Esther.
No, this is like a new proclamation that they signed today.
I know, but it's part of Project Esther. Go read it. It's written by the
Yeah.
Heritage
Where is
Foundation.
Project Esther?
It is part of the Heritage Foundation. It's basically an extension of Project 2025. They present it as if it's like a response to anti-Semitism, but it's an effort to develop a surveillance state, and part of their surveilling is imposing kind of penalties on things like universities, which we've already seen implemented, having their their resources stripped from them if they don't implement certain policies, and strip other policies like DEI, implement a pro-Zio agenda. So I would, and it also comes with like kind of reporting, monitoring via social media, all of these things. It's all wrapped up in Project Esther. So it's about more than the anti-Semitism they're claiming to combat. That's just the umbrella that they're using to get away with to implement an even more authoritative agenda.
Good night, Mish. Have a good night.
Wow.
I want to
Well,
say
that's
this really
pretty
quick
scary.
before we get back on the topic. October 7th, 2025. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton announced an undercover operation to investigate leftist terror cells and groups involved in or supporting political violence within Texas. This initiative follows several violent incidents in the state and the national political assassination of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, which Paxton cited as motivating factors. But it was motivated by the right. How do you somebody on the right unalive somebody on the right and they say we need to investigate leftists?
Well, and
70
now half of them don't even believe the story anymore. Now, like Candace Owens is like Israel, like they're, I can't.
most of the
I don't understand.
2024 extremist related murders are committed by white
Right.
supremacists.
Yeah.
76% of extreme political violence is committed by right-wing extremists and 4% by leftists. So why in the fuck are we putting all of our funds? This is waste, fraud, and abuse. Because why would we put all of our funds into quote unquote leftist terror cells and they do not support violence, they don't call for violence. And then this whole Charlie Kirk thing was by someone else on the right. Even the Groper, Pepe, the whole little group is far right conservatism. Far right. Why are y'all over here? It doesn't make sense. Accountability is what bring y'all ass. Accountability is what, not the lack of accountability, is going to tear America down. Come on here.
So today, Pam Bondi also was in front of the Senate testifying, and she makes these statements, and she says it really crazy to get everybody's attention and make them feel how she does. She says, "It's the left, the violent left." It's that white tea woman kind of tears, but
my thing is just because y'all keep, and Trump has always said that if you say it enough, they'll believe it. Just because you keep saying it and saying it louder does not make it true. The statistics doesn't prove it. The evidence doesn't prove it. Like every time we see it, there are raging Trump supporters. Those two Democrats that lost their life, raging Trump supporter. The rally, the Mar-a-Lago, Trump supporters. The Kirk, Trump supporters. These are all far right people. White men. What are you talking about? But anyway.
Pew pewing. Don't forget those.
Which one?
I said, don't forget the school pew pewings.
The school pew pewings. Half of these people on here are school unalivers. Also, to the church, Dylan Roof. Like, what are we talking about?
I don't know if you heard the update on Trey Reed, but they're saying that it's possible that it was 4 white tea men.
Yeah,
because they were mad. What I heard was that it was 4 white guys who were mad because the little sister of Trey Reed was talking smack about Charlie Kirk, and they were giving the little sister shit, and so Trey Reed came to the defense of his little sister, and that's what happened. That's the story that I most recently heard.
So more far right people, more conservative. You got to put the mirror up. That's all you're doing is looking in the mirror and calling it left. That's like me looking in the mirror, like just them looking in the mirror and yelling left, 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 left. It's not, and it doesn't make it true. And you're going to continue to have the same issues if all you keep doing is pointing at the wrong person.
But that doesn't, they don't care because they've known this. They published that, and the FBI, the 2016 FBI report named white men as the greatest threat to our domestic security.
And what we do, put them in office.
Yeah.
Hey, sidebar.
They were specifically noting the extremism that was on the rise and a concerted effort of right-wing extremists to join police forces and the military to get tactical training and to put themselves in positions to exert control over the people that they wanted to harm.
Mhm.
White women were putting themselves in classrooms and in hospitals. Yeah.
So they could come together and hurt them all. So once I harmed them, I sent them to the hospital. You finish off the job or tell them it was no foul play.
Pretty much.
Wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Hey, sidebar. Have you heard of this Wes Moore guy out of Baltimore?
Mm-hmm.
He's the shit. Have you heard of Wes? He's
Oh,
the
yeah.
governor of Maryland, I think. Maryland, maybe.
I heard he's doing
Is it
his
Baltimore?
thing.
I don't know if it's Maryland.
No.
Go ahead.
I think it's
Oh,
Maryland. Yeah.
We're talking about the former military guy. That's
Yeah.
the mayor of Baltimore. Yes.
Black Kansas City man found hanged in New Mexico. Originally from Kansas City, Javon was found hanged in New Mexico. Police hid his death for over a year, cremated his body before even notifying his family of the death, and called it a suicide. His family is demanding a full investigation. Wow.
You know what's
Unreal.
crazy? I'm here and I ain't heard about that.
There was actually another
Oh,
one
Jess,
in
sorry,
New Mexico that just happened.
Go ahead. Hold on. Go ahead.
No, ignore me. Go ahead. And
Okay. Let me bring us back. Sorry, I heard pickle juice allegedly help with cramp.
yeah, my ADHD is really bad today, and I just didn't want to, like, jump topics or say something, be disrespectful. I was just reading Taylor's comment. She said to check the donos, but it was definitely the wrong time. There was another. I saw a video on TikTok of a woman that said that her ex had also been found, and I don't know how to go about like helping, because remember when we found out about what happened to Trey Reed, we did find like his family on Facebook and we were trying to follow up, and then ultimately, thankfully, Kaepernick was able to put money towards a second autopsy. But how do we, because it's like such a sensitive thing, you can't just reach out to people and offer them cash or like I don't know if there needs to be some sort. It sucks that there has to be, but some sort of mutual aid or GFM to go towards these types of things that families can just reach out.
And I already have it ready.
Yeah.
I wish there were lawyers that just like, this is what I do. I reach out. I like really good lawyers. Like, who was that got OJ off? We need lawyers like that be like, I'll do it, and then maybe he could have something we can all donate to, and they all do
And
that.
this,
Hold on, real quick, Taylor. Thank you for the dono that said because Saji told me to do it. Shout out to Saji and shout out to Taylor. Drop some coconuts in the Mickey Ficky chat. That's our first dono of the night. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, sidebar. I gotta drop, Jessica, because my phone's about to die, sadly.
Okay, whenever you get some more, I would love to talk with you about when you start deconstructing if you have time to come back.
Okay, hopefully it'll charge fast. It's charging slow. I don't know what the problem is. It's plugged
And
in right
then
now, but
possibly
it's
to close
dying.
all the other apps.
Yeah, there you go. All right, I'll be back.
All right.
I wanted to say something. Sorry, Jess.
Go ahead.
This is what you just said is something very important, and it's something that like we've talked about on my panel and on Castle's panel. We gotta give each other these privileges. We gotta give each other these favors, this money, this fundraising to one another. We have a lot of Black and brown lawyers out there. Stop giving a discount to these white tea people. Stop doing pro bono cases for white tea families that can go and get their generational wealth pulled from somewhere and get that money. Give the free cases, the pro bono cases for Black and brown families. Like, this is something that needs to be happening across the board. Put a fucking 15% tax, whatever inconvenience fee when you gotta service white tea people, and then take that 15% and take it off of a Black and brown person. You're a mechanic, bitch. How many Mexican mechanics we got out there? Fix your people's cars for free. We're going into debt over that shit. We got like 5 cars, none of them are working. Majority of Mexicans and Latinos, 5 cars in the front of the house, none of them work. Why don't you give that shit for free? You never know. And we help each other out. I talked about this analogy that I came up with about the charger, for the phone charger. Sometimes I'm at 10%, but if Jess is at 3%, I'm gonna help her get to 7%. While my phone goes down. Sometimes I'm at 100. We can pass it around for as long as we want in the car, but we gotta give this to each other, because white tea people, they call up the senator, they call up the congressman, they call up the fucking judge, the cop, and they're like, hey, can you get my son off of this charge? Hey, can you overlook this? Hey, can you pay for this? And they don't care. We need to not just give it to one another, but also fuck any Black and brown person who downs another Black and brown person for asking for help, because it is the hardest things for our communities to do. So if you see somebody doing it, you help or you move it along. I'm gonna land with it.
I forgot. Oh, what's I about to say? Southern Fried, did you want to say anything in regards to the what's that called? Until the topic we were talking about deconstructing.
I think that question you asked was about like childhood, like how, like racial, like what did you learn or something about racial,
Okay, hold on, I got it.
in your upbringing about like.
How childhood teaching shaped your racial understanding.
Oh yeah, honey. Thank you for reframing that for me. Wow, it was complicated, at least at first, because I didn't have an understanding when I was really, really young and I first like became like school aged, for example, about race. I knew my parents didn't look the same. Like clearly my mom is white, my dad is Black. I had no idea that actually meant something though when I went to school. It wasn't until I went to school and I started getting asked questions about like, what are you? And blah, 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 and things like that. I came home and I asked like my mom this very same question, because this little boy had put his arm up to mine and was like, no, what are you? Because I'm like, I'm a girl, duh. And he's like, no, like, what are you? And I was like, oh. And I didn't know how to answer him, but I was a little kid. I was like 5 or 6 years old. And so I went home. I asked my mom that question. She's sitting, doing her hair, got out the shower, whatever. And I'm asking her, and she's like, okay, your mommy is white, your daddy is Black, you're mixed. She did the white woman thing. Absolutely. And my dad was coming in from work and like just kind of like was standing in the doorway listening to that, and came in and he like, next thing I know, it's the Royal Rumble. Okay. She's Black. No white person is ever going to look at her and see another white face. She's Black. Da 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 da. So they're going, and they're going back and forth about this. And all I remember is trailing out of the room, wondering, okay, so what the fuck is the answer?
What am I? What do I go back to school and say? What up, Ann? How you doing, beautiful?
But shortly thereafter, we moved to the South, and I found out very quickly what the fuck I was. I found out very quickly, girl.
Hold on. So where you guys were staying at first, and then
California.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I got.
So shortly thereafter, like maybe 2 years later, we moved to the South, baby. You are Black. Okay, you are black.
So your daddy was right.
Yes, absolutely correct. And that I dealt with a lot of stuff. I got called the N-word and stuff for the first time. I got called an Oreo, everything but a child of God, and then everything you can get called, I got called it. Okay, and I also was raised like watching things like early on, like Roots. I was brought up watching things like Roots and Mississippi Burning and Queen and all of the like cultural staples, of kind of Black history Like those were requirements in my home.
Mhm.
So, and I grew up with the Black side of my family, so I don't think I really had a lot of confusion.
When y'all moved to the South, did your mom come too?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't have a lot of exposure to her side of the family, or like I was around them like a little bit growing up, but not really.
Mhm.
And not past the age of like 10. I never really saw these motherfuckers. So like these are just random white people to me. I to this day I don't even talk to them people. I don't know y'all. They just random white people, truly.
Mhm.
So I guess that's, I don't know. I've never really been confused about the fact that I'm Black.
Yeah.
Like I'm
It-
Black.
ever since that moment.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with that. I'm fine with that. I understand that I am biracial. I don't deny that. I don't deny that. Yes, I have a white parent, all this and that. But as far as just having an identity crisis that I see a lot of these biracial people out here having, I don't got it. I can't relate. I don't understand.
Let me
I
tell
don't
you
know.
something. Bree in the South too. And she said that she remember when some Black people moved in the town and she asked her parents, why did they look different? And she said because they're God's least favorite. Now never speak of those people in this house again. Like that is the shit that I'm talking about. Especially like you say in the South, you had no problem figuring out you was real Black. And when you
Oh yeah.
wasn't no mixed shit back then, and they didn't even care about that.
Exactly. And I'm an 80s baby, like I'm an elder millennial. So absolutely, baby, you are blackity black, black, black. I
Mhm.
mean, because it wasn't a whole lot of us little biracials running around any damn way.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's yeah, that got real interesting real quick. But no, I didn't have no damn, long lamenting tragic mulatto story to tell you. Like, girl, you Black. And I knew this as light as I am.
Yeah.
As light as I am, little curly, stereotypical biracial, green eyes, curly hair. If I'm catching it, good and damn well
Everybody else
that
is.
the Black people who are darker complected
Mhm.
are definitely fucking catching it.
Mhm. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, though. Okay. Period.
I'm out here bitter, bitch.
What was I about to say? Oh, so next question. Even though I know the answer to this, and I feel like I know what everybody's gonna say, but give me a second. Shelby, welcome in. Yo quiero Taco
Hi.
Bell. Yes. First of all, I feel like you request because I see in the comments, I like to give everybody their opportunity when they feel comfortable. So thank you so much for coming up. And is there something particularly you wanted to add, or do you want me to start with the beginning of the question and like what made you start deconstructing?
I feel like what made me start deconstructing was when I didn't feel like I needed to deconstruct. I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to deconstruct, or at least I didn't think I did. You know what I mean? It's hard. Was when one of my children said they didn't feel like they had enough Black culture in their life because they're biracial,
Mm.
and they felt like they didn't have enough Black culture in their life. So
And
I
you
felt
you
like
thought everything was okay until then.
and
Not the
I thought
dog is a
everything,
paid actor.
yeah. So I thought everything was okay, and she said to me, I don't think Dad brought enough of the Black culture into the life. He's the one who's African American,
Mhm.
and he should have been bringing it. And I said, well, no, I was raising you too, and I should have taken some responsibility for that as well. I might
Mhm.
not be the Black parent, but I should have taken some of that responsibility myself as well.
Right.
And
What made her
so
feel like that?
I think because his family's from New Orleans, we live north, and there wasn't a lot of that side of the family around. So I think she felt like she didn't get a lot of that
Were you guys
culture.
mostly hanging around your family?
Yeah, it was mostly my family.
And did like what but I feel like was it something at school that made it feel like she was lacking? What made her feel the lack?
Yeah, I think she didn't feel, and I thought it was a good mixture of cultures at the school. but she mostly hung out with the white students. And I don't know if that's because she was more comfortable because, when they were younger, they were always around the white family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's what it was. Not really sure. But that made me feel like I needed to reevaluate myself and see if I had missed something and deconstruct and kind of, see where I might be lacking in some education around that. And
How did
see,
it go moving forward after that?
I think it went well. I have some family members who had made comments in the past that we had struggled through.
Mm-hmm.
When
What type of,
when I
if you don't mind me asking,
no,
what
of course
was
not.
it's a dog night, y'all.
Um,
What
things
comments? Because I
like
think it's important to know the details to know what to look for. Because some people don't know things are microaggressions unless we say something like, "Oh, you speak well," or "You're one of the good ones," or "You got pretty hair." So if
oh yeah,
if
no,
anytime I'm into intrusive, I ask a lot of questions and I love the
well,
details.
it's okay. One of my aunts said that my husband wasn't like other black people because he didn't talk thug.
Mm. What is talk thug? Did y'all
Or,
ask? Like, what does that look like?
speak like
I mean, did he say like?
did they
Did
say
he?
thug? They said not thug. He didn't speak wasn't thug. It was I'm trying to think of the word, but slang and
Was it the G word?
Ghetto? Hood?
ghetto. Yes, he didn't speak
They
ghetto.
love that one.
And I
Mm-hmm.
said, anybody can speak ghetto.
Yep.
A white person can speak ghetto. A Mexican person can speak ghetto. A Chinese person can speak ghetto. Anybody can speak ghetto. It doesn't matter what color you are. And anybody can speak what you obviously consider as proper. Anybody can speak in that manner. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter what color you are. I don't know where
Which is why I
you're
never got
getting
that.
from. Like, I don't
It's
understand what
almost
you're
like
talking
Hmm.
about.
it's almost like they don't know that Wahite people
Yeah, I
have
don't
ghettos too.
Mm-hmm.
understand that.
Did they know that
And
that's where the ghetto started? That's what I don't get. But then I guess every projection is a confession.
exactly.
What?
And another
My thing is, sorry, Shelby's like your signal
You
kind
got
of low.
bars, Shell.
My thing is these people, right? Especially like the ones that formed the YT only town here recently. They don't even speak the Queen's English. Majority of these people.
Especially if you go to the South. That's what we gotta get. I'm gonna put Black as Fuck History on my Amazon wish list. Y'all, we're gonna do a book club on that too.
Oh, I have that book. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. We're gonna do that. The book clubs we're gonna do in the link. I'm sorry, man. The link is for women, femmes, theys, and thems. Oops, excuse me, because I
It was a
also
good book. I read it.
Black as Fuck History.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I have that one. You do, LM? Okay, yeah. We're gonna have to do something on that and kind of like read a couple times, break it down, and do the book club in there for sure. But Nessa recommended a book. Shout out to Nessa for getting me that book. It's called White Woman Tears, Black Scar, White Tears, Black Scars, or something like that.
Brown Scars. Yeah, I have that one too.
Come on, you've been doing your deconstruct. You was really working on your deconstructing. Shout out to you for loving your children. Because respectfully, I know a lot of white people don't even like their kids. They don't even give a fuck about their kids. I'm currently reading that one. You are, Bree? Yeah, I think those are good things to be able to do. So maybe we'll do one here and then one there. We'll figure it out because I think one of them is maybe we'll do Black as Fuck history in the link, and we'll do the white tears, black brown scars on TikTok.
Can I have a suggestion too? Next time
Yeah.
for the witty people that are listening to this live, because we gotta be action, okay? We gotta be action based. We can't just like talk about this, okay? Next time you get a big fat check from
Mm-hmm.
your job, instead of dropping it in the little basket that they pass around at the church that we will find out in 20 years possibly abused your child, go and take that money and drop it off at a Black History Museum near you.
Mm-hmm.
Go give them that check. They
Oh, to a
deserve it,
black
man.
and brown creator. We got 220 left in tonight's goal.
Yes. I said I'm talking like a physical check, okay? I'm just picturing this. But also, if you got the money in your account right now too, start
Mm-hmm.
saving it for your pastor.
Sai's
No,
been
man.
wilding lately. Sai's
No.
been wilding lately. We can't give her no type of airtime without her coming out the side of her neck. Sai's been wilding lately. Okay?
I love it.
Listen,
I like
hate
wild size. Hashtag wild size in the chat,
the
y'all. I
fact
love
that
it.
I hate the fact that they pray.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
I mean, I'm here for it. Don't get it messed up.
I hate
Yeah.
the fact that they prayed over that predator. That man should have, like, if he's a true follower of Jesus Christ, he should have been put under the little baptism pool for 15 minutes, okay? 15 minutes. Really let him soak in Jesus' salvation.
Mm-hmm.
And if he made it out, then, it is what it is. God decided. But the fact that this man got 6 months is wild.
The fact that they prayed over him and they'll let him come take over another church in the future. Why? That's all that they do. My thing is, I just made a video about this. It's like why, especially a lot of churches, but especially in the white church, the pastor can mess with your kids. Give me your kids. In the IDLP and also too in Sweet Keep, they took their kids. They put the parents out of the congregation and said, your wives and your children now belong to me. And they would just fucking leave. They was raping their children and 13 and 14 and getting them pregnant. But as soon as they say, oh no, black people are equal, then they're like, oh no, I got to get out of this church. They're tripping. Soon as they say we accept LGBTQ, oh, the pastor is off his rocker. I gotta go. They'll scam you out of all your fucking money and you're okay with that. Your house is Sweet Keep. They sold a house and they sold a business and gave it all to the pastor. That shit was crazy. But as soon as again they're inclusive, we support the LGBTQ, or black people and immigrants, we're people of color, they're all equal. Oh no, we gotta get out of here. We gotta leave this church. Why is that the breaking point? Why is that the thing that makes you wake up? And also too, I think it plays a lot of the mediocrity and needing someone to look down on, and your life is a lot of lives are so shit that I need to feel like I'm better than someone. So I don't have to step up to the plate. I don't have to work hard. I don't have to get out because at the end of the day, blacks are still worse than me. But to say that they're equal we're all inclusive, we're all the same, I can't get with that. FLDS is beyond wild. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And Latter-day Saints, when that Latter-day Saints, which church was that? That white guy, go figure, Trump supporter, ran up in the church, opened fire and set it ablaze. It was Latter-day Saints. Now I don't know if it's a FLDS. I mean, are they all the same? Another branch of it, but yeah, we don't know like what the things that they're teaching. They're gonna break it. Some of these people break at some point. People who get out, let her cook. We got it, y'all. Drop the let her cook emotes if you are a super fan. They finally approved it. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yep. So all of these things, and that's what's going to bring me to my next question. Do you feel like the role of Christianity is upholding or challenging systemic racism? But obviously we know it's upholding it. And also to all of my whites representing, or close to white families, whatever. What are some ways that you saw that Christianity was upholding the racism? I started to type. Go ahead, Andrew.
Well, before I answer, I'm gonna give a mod announcement because we've been here for at least an hour, and I
2
have not
hours.
seen those. We've been here for 2 hours, y'all. That should be at least 200K likes. I haven't seen a budge from 60K in a minute. So
Mhm.
y'all ought to be tap 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 tapping that screen. Let's get the shares to at least 300. I would prefer to see 500. I think Jessica would agree.
Yep.
So share it out with some friends, share it out to some loved ones, share it out to some haters, because y'all know the drama gets more views. Not that we're going to have a dramatic panel, but you know what I mean. Let's get her gift goal. Let's tap the heart. Make sure you are actually following her. So if you see a plus sign by her name, that means you're not following Miss Jessica, the queen. So make sure you tap that to follow her. And then tap to join the team. All right.
I'm gonna sit in silence until we get that goal to at least 150, down to 150.
Let's start arguing real quick. Oh my God, you're so crazy. Oh my God, no, you're leaving. Rah, 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 rah. And then all the numbers will go up. And then you're like, okay, now back to our regularly scheduled program.
changes the tone of voice. Okay, now that we're back to our resumed programming. So I was raised I was raised Catholic, very, very loosely. We went to church on Christmas and Easter. That was it. I specifically remember, and I don't know if this is necessarily tied to racism, or upholding white supremacy, but I remember as a kid, I want to say I was like 11 or 12. When you go to church when you're young and you know the words to sing, you kind of sing back, right? Or when they answer that prayer, you don't really know better, also with you, or whatever the phrases were. As a kid, you don't really know better, and you just kind of repeat them because you want to fit in, you want to be one of the community. And I remember this is actually the last time I went to church besides her funerals. I remember they specifically, it was like a back and forth, and it was like also with you, and you wish well on everybody, right? But I remember one year they changed it from wishing well on everyone to wishing it of people of goodwill. And I remember like literally verbatim, those were the words. And I remember I was like 11, 12, maybe 13. And right after we left church, I was angry. Like I was legitimately angry on the inside because, first of all, you go to church because you believe in a higher power that's supposed to judge us, not us judging other people. So who are you to sit here and say, I'm wishing well to those of goodwill? Who are we to judge who has good or bad will? That doesn't make any sense. And in my mind as a kid, I also thought, shouldn't we pray more for the people of bad will? Like, shouldn't we want to help them out more if they are having these bad thoughts and act on these bad thoughts? Like, good people don't need us to pray more for them. They're already
They got it.
they're already on the right path, So I don't know necessarily if that's tied into maintaining the white supremacy or if it was tied to racism. But I just remember as a kid hearing it and my blood was boiling. And that's why I never went back to church, because it just did not make sense to me.
Angel, did you have an answer for that question? I know you're not necessarily
I
white, but
was baptized when I was a baby, in the Catholic Church. I don't really know anything about Christian. I didn't attend church anytime after that. So, I tried to work at a Christian church not too long ago. Well, maybe 5 years ago or so. And of course, I didn't get that job, even though it was the second interview, and there was no reason why I shouldn't have got it. I was very qualified.
if do you know who got the job?
No, that there wasn't any candidates. I had a friend who knew about the position, and so he like recommended me to the I'm not sure what the director, I believe it was. So I couldn't even work at the church.
What make you think that? What made why? No, what was the reason you think you didn't get it?
Because the area it is in is the rich YT neighbor, or not neighborhood, it's actually the side of town. It's called Stone Oak. No, 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 it's the Dominion
Mm-hmm.
where like the Spurs players live. Church. So
So, classism, maybe.
with
Look like.
these white people, they're different. They're white tea, and I'm brown and Mexican,
Mm-hmm.
and so the tension. Like I know that they think that they could pay me less than everybody else, and um, did y'all know that or no?
Yeah. That
And
they
they
feel
talk
like they can
about
pay you less than.
yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
below minimum wage.
But hold on, they tried to give you below minimum wage. Did they offer you below minimum wage?
Yes.
They hold on. They came out and offered you below minimum wage.
Yeah, it's not the first time either. You know, most of the jobs I feel when I had jobs that I never got paid over $11 ever. And the job before that was $9 and it was a teacher, you know, working at a Christian nonprofit, which, you know, I can understand why it's so little, but I know that everybody else was making more than me.
Mm-hmm. When he offered you less than, what was your response?
That
Like,
I wasn't gonna take it.
mm-hmm.
I was just trying to work as, as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. That is. So, what makes you want to continue to do Christian work?
Oh, I'm not Christian.
Oh, what makes you want to?
I needed a job
God, hey, I ain't mad at you. Coconuts in the
that
chat for
day.
Angel. She said, "Bitch, if you'll give it to me, hallelujah."
Yeah, I guess maybe that might be a reason why, because I'm not
Did they know you weren't
Christian.
Christian?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Girl, you got to play the part when you get in there. You see Don Trump out on his
I said I
resume.
was gonna. I was gonna start going, you know.
Girl, you should have put on your little cross necklace and been in there, little prayer hands and all that, girl. Come on
Mm-hmm.
now.
And just how you sell it to them. I'm reading this book called Sell or Be Sold. You have to put it to them like, hey, I could be the miracle story that you can portray to your church and how you change somebody's life, and I could be the leading face of how Christianity works. Just play the part. That's all they doing. um, Kimmy, well, the role of Christianity and how it upholds racism. Do you remember a way in which you have, it was, now that you think back, how it was they used Christianity to uphold racism. Now let me send you a request to unmute. And thank you to everybody who's in the YouTube, everybody that's tapping. We're at 71K. Let's go ahead and work our way up to 100K. We're almost there. Go ahead, Kimmy.
I don't know if I can answer that question. I'm kind of unorthodox. My dad grew up Christian, Catholic rather.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Catholic school and everything like that. But both his parents died by the time he was 15, and he moved from Brooklyn to California. And then my mom, she had us baptized Baptist, but also both my parents kind of like lived the wild life, so we didn't go to church all that often.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in Jesus, I believe in God and everything, but we never actually went to like real like all the time type stuff. Now my dad at one point was with this young woman and they went to a church and it was weird. Um it was almost like I don't even know what it was, but I went a couple times with them and it was like almost like a culty type situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It felt uncomfortable to be there. It just seemed like you're going there just to make the head of the church rich and
Mm-hmm.
they weren't really teaching anything. So
Which is
yeah,
why
I can't say
nobody
that I
is.
can answer that.
Which is
But I
why
mean, I
nobody's Christian, girl.
but I went to church with like my husband's grandma and stuff, and it was just a whole different thing, different vibe. But I never even really went a whole lot of times with her either. But
Mm-hmm.
you could definitely tell the difference. Now, I won't say that there aren't on both sides, the
Facts. I
preachers
will
that
say that
get
too.
that'll get their Cadillacs and their
Mm-hmm.
houses and everything they want. Look at what's his name, Joel Epstein, or not? I said Joel Epstein.
TDJ.
Yeah, but yes, Joel Osteen.
Mm-hmm.
He has that mega church. He wouldn't even let the homeless come in, sleep in there during, I forget what it was, if it was a
Katrina.
hurricane or yeah. He
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even let them come and stay in his church. You're supposed to be of the Lord, but you won't let these people that are unhoused and in desperate
Hey,
situations
Pam.
sleep in your raggedy church. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably not the best person to speak on this. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, every experience, everybody has their own experience and they all matter. And you're absolutely right. When it who was that up at the top? Oh, Andrew, he may have to drop. Love you all. Good night. Didn't want to, no problem. Have a good night, love. Now I will say the black church, you can also too catch some scams over there. I don't think they don't use Christianity to uphold racism because obviously they trying to, whatever. But I won't say that they no scamming over there though.
No, wait a second. That you saying they don't? Okay, maybe not intentionally, but I don't know about you. I went to a lot of different churches when I was young. Okay, some of which were black churches. Why we have white Jesus posted up all over the damn place,
Right.
with his damn prayer hands and his pale ass skin and his stringy ass hair.
And I didn't mean not hold. I didn't when I said not hold. They do hold up racism. No, they hold up white supremacy, but they don't. I feel like they don't necessarily are trying to use Christianity to make us racist against white people. That's what I meant.
Okay, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
but they definitely hold up the white supremacy.
Yeah.
That's what I did want to say.
Okay.
Brother Jones be scamming all the time. I'm hollering. Shelby. What are different ways that you have seen how and that Christianity hold up racism? Either per any church that you've been to, family members, or
I haven't been to church. I'm actually an atheist. But my family members are very into the church, and I feel like it does hold up white supremacy, definitely for one, and racism for two. I feel like it's ingrained in that whole system, just the way that they are around other people and the actions that I've seen from family members who are so ingrained in Christianity. And just the way they treat people. I mean, just because you go to church on Sunday doesn't make you a good person. That's what I've always said. I personally obviously don't have that belief, and that's part of who I am. But it's kind of culty to me.
It's definitely
not an affront to anybody else. Everyone's entitled to their beliefs and their belief system. I've been inside of a church a couple of times for, people's weddings or baptisms or things like that. But so I can't speak too much on it, but just from what I've observed from family members who are very ingrained in the church, I do feel that it does hold up white supremacy and racism. I do have another book that I wanted to recommend, though. It's called Me and White Supremacy by Layla Saad, Saad. And it has a lot of good prompts in here that prompts you to really think about how your thoughts were shaped and stuff from childhood and things like that, that I read and did the prompts on. That was a good one.
Okay. Thank you so much. I saw you said you're having a hard time, so When I send you a request to unmute, does that work?
It does.
Okay. So I can help you with that. I'll just mute you and unmute you,
I
or
just
send
didn't
you a
want you to
request.
have to do all that. I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
No, you're fine. Sometimes TikTok be glitching, so it's totally fine. Shelby, how you doing? I know you've been there. What are ways that you have seen either your family, either yourself in the past, or people around you, neighborhood, whatever, or churches you've been to use Christianity to hold up racism or white supremacy? And before you answer, I just want to say Bree made a really good comment that she said we don't worship God and Jesus, we worship whiteness and what it gives us. And I would have to agree. Oh yes, Kimmy, I'll definitely put all of these books in we have a part in the Discord that says Royal Reads. Those are book recommendations. So I'm going to add all of those to that particular part, you guys, just so you know. Go ahead,
So I
Shelby.
feel like I'll give my aunt and uncle as an example.
Mhm.
So they are both YT, white Christian, very into the church, very up on, going every Sunday, every Wednesday, every other day. And they, make comments. They're Trump supporters. They're basically MAGA.
Mhm.
And they just make these microaggressive comments and things like that
You kind of got
that
bars.
are in the hmm?
Oh, you're back. You were kind of cutting out.
What was that?
You're back. You were kind of cutting out.
Oh, sorry. They're kind of in the realm of racist remarks, like, the YT people are better than the other races, and things about illegal immigrants and or undocumented immigrants. They say illegal immigrants, things like that. And they base it on what the Bible says. You know what I mean? Their excuses that the Bible says you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. They make comments about LGBTQ based on what the Bible says.
Mhm.
All of that, everything's based on what the Bible says.
So which part in the Bible tells them that they're better than all other races or other people?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know any of the Bible, so I don't know. This is what I'm saying. It's things they're saying, but everything they say is based in Christianity, according to them.
Which part of the Bible tells them that they can go touching on other people's kids? Because that seemed to be real customary.
Right. I don't know.
Okay, I'm just curious because I read the Bible lots of times. I didn't get that part.
I agree with you.
I challenge
100%.
you guys to ask next time to just ask these questions. Just because I think they just speak and nobody asks questions to really think about it,
That's
right?
the bottom of it. Right.
So we'd be like, oh, I don't know. We gotta have these
I got a
conversations.
question.
Hold
I got
on,
a question, Jessica.
really quick.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Okay,
All
give
right.
me 1 second. Let me ask Ham. Ham, welcome in. Thank you for your patience.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. What are some ways that you have seen Christ seeing them hold up Christianity? I mean, seeing white people use Christianity to uphold racism.
Well, the first instance probably is the Tower of Babel, and that's early on in the Bible in Genesis. And here in the Bible Belt, when you go to Sunday school as a child, or if you went to a Christian school like I had to, I'm an atheist, by the way. But
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. But so like in Genesis, and it's really Old Testament, and I was going to say something else about that, about it being Old Testament. So in the Old Testament, in Genesis, there's the story of the Tower of Babel, and in that, all the people of the world were united and working together to build this tower because they wanted to reach the heavens with this tower. And the way I had been taught this story so many times, it's always one of the first things that they teach you as a child in a church or in a Christian school. Yeah. So they teach you this Tower of Babel thing that, like, okay, God struck it down and then made it to where nobody could understand each other. And then there are Christians, tons of them, who take it further, and they say that people are not supposed to mix with each other, that there's supposed to be this purity to your race. And so, like, in the Old Testament, which is a lot of the Old Testament was pulled from the Torah, and in the Torah, it says that excuse me, that the Israelites are God's chosen people, and in it they teach that that the rest of the world are not the children of God; they're called Gentiles. And so the Judeo-Christian thing is in that it's Christians that particularly love the Old Testament, and there's so much in the Old Testament, like it tells slaves to obey their masters as if they were God. And something right now that's happening that's super racist is like what's happening in Gaza. And there are Christians like my family who completely, like, blindly support the nation of Israel no matter what, because they believe that that the Israelites are God's chosen people and everybody else is just they're not going to heaven, and unless they, like, accept Jesus. But the Jews haven't accepted Jesus. They're still waiting for a Messiah, but there's like an alliance there, and it's Judeo-Christian, and in the Judeo-Christian doctrine, it's just inherently racist. They use phrases to promote the hate of groups outside of you. Like, if you go back in the Old Testament, it's God telling the Israelites, go and find the Canaanites and kill all of them. I'm sorry, unalive all of them, and and take their daughters and disperse them throughout your army, and have your way with them. And it's all about just like this purity of race and then destruction, like everybody else doesn't have rights. Recently, Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, he made a speech calling the Israelis, which, when I say Israelis, I'm talking about the country right now, which is really just a police state occupying a portion of Palestine. But like, Netanyahu said that the Israelis are children of the light, and that Palestinians are children of darkness. They dehumanize the groups that are outside of them, and it's like saying you're the devil, and they use that to justify their actions. If you
What gives him the right to be able to make that determination?
What gives them the right?
What gives him the right to be like, oh, I know God, what God spoke to you about all people?
Yeah, I mean, they it's pretty common, they Judeo-Christians say that they talk to God, that but also it's in reading.
That's why they didn't like me as a kid, because I was like, why would he call you?
Right. But it's also like,
have you heard
it
of
comes
the
from the
New
books.
Apostolic Reformation movement, him?
Apostolic Reformation?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get to you. Give me 1 second, real quick, Shauna.
Okay, because that is bonkers.
Miss Club, DJ Club, welcome in. You said you had a
What's up,
question.
Jessica?
I'm doing good. How you doing
Yeah,
tonight?
I got. Man, I'm chilling. I just came in here and I heard Shelby talking about her parents that were Christians. I have this one question for you, Shelby.
My aunt and uncle.
This is this is
Not
gonna
her
be a
parents,
straight.
I think
This
her
is
aunt and uncle.
oh, okay. Okay, so I have this. I have this straightforward question for you. Is your uncle a white tea Christian nationalist?
I don't know if I would call him a YT Christian nationalist. I mean, he may be.
Because this is what
At this
this is
point.
what this is what I'm getting the signals. You know, I'm getting signals that the Christian nationalists, they're actually flooding, you know, this app right now with different ideologies of the Bible, and they're taking the Bible and they're taking the scriptures and they're mixing them up. They're taking them out of context, and they're spreading this message like some propaganda, you know, through their audiences and their base.
Yeah, he listens to some guy. I can't think of his name. One of my other aunts, who's not involved.
But
with
that's
them.
another
What was his
reason
name?
why I created We Are What's Left, because we have to keep being on the same page of spreading the truth and just flood it, breaking the algorithm. And just as much as they try to flood, we have to flood as well, but with truth.
Right.
Yeah, but it's hard to compete against batshittery. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that, so I have, before Project 2025, they had a website. They started a website called nationalconservatism.org. And so I started paying attention because the articles that they would put on there would be, you know, half of them would be the new MAGA ideology, and then the other half would be, you know, the rhino ideology, and it would be which way we're going to go. It was kind of like their little argument for a few years that happened under Biden. And they also had a lot of they did the nationalconservatism.org did like a lot of speeches or whatever in Hungary, and then it had Viktor Orban speak at their things too. So whatever. Anyway, they believe right now that we're in a messianic time period, that Jesus is going to come back, that they're actually, a lot of them are messiahs, because in Judaism, there's the Messiah that hasn't come, but there's also just messiahs in general. And a Messiah is someone who restores the borders of Israel. So would make the Zionist dream come true. You're considered a Messiah, not the Messiah, but a Messiah. But the New Apostolic Reformation movement is this right-wing, like Protestant. Well, no, it's not true. It's all evangelical. So it can be evangelical Protestants, evangelical Catholics. I don't think that they allow the Muslims in, but like all the evangelicals they let in. And it's under this like super religious banner where they believe, I am not kidding you, that like Donald Trump and Putin and, you know, just different people, they actually remember Jesus coming into the womb of the mother, like when they were in the womb. Jesus came into the womb and anointed them an apostle. And that's why it's called the Apostolic Reformation movement, because all these apostles now are living amongst us. And this is also when the Messiah is going to come. So and what's crazy is a lot of this has some stuff with Russia, because back in 2012, the Russian Orthodox Church, the second in command, if I might be butchering his name, but I want to say it's Alfred Alfayez or something. I can't remember. It's been a while since I researched all of this, but he actually went to the United States and was on a reunification tour. And that was his whole thing, was to unify all the evangelical Christian and Catholic, because a lot of them don't see Catholics as Christian. The Protestants don't. Anyway, he
But they
wanted to
damn sure are.
unify
They do
all
the
of
same
them.
shit.
Yeah, but you know, it's because the Catholics have to go to a priest or some BS. I don't know. But they organized all of these people from all these different religions with the Russians, because the Russians, people don't realize this, but the Russian Orthodox Church is just as bad as like your Muslim Orthodox churches, like when you kind of think of it, right? Because in Russia, in order to be in church there, if you're a woman, you have to have your skirt down to your ankles or you'll be kicked out. You have to have a scarf on your head or you're going to be kicked out. And if you're on your period, you're not supposed to go. I mean,
They checking pussy at the door?
I think it's on an honor system, but that's the rules, you know. So it's very like all extreme
Saji
religious
said she not
people.
coming back to the daily goal was met. Okay, she said I'm going to eat my food. I'll be back when y'all meet the daily goal. I'm just trying to figure out, LL. I'm like, what is this? This is a kitty check. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work? How do they keep up with that? They
But
checking,
anyway,
yeah.
it's something you guys should just dive into the New Apostolic Reformation movement because it
The
is
new
crazy. And
what?
like
Spell it again. The
New Apostolic, so it's NARM,
M
NARM,
M.
New Apostolic Reformation movement. Like the ACLU talks about it. It's not as well known as it should be, and it goes also back to like.
Can you put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
It also goes back to the whole 13 pillars theory, or however many pillars it was, out of Colorado Springs, when like some guy had like a dream and God came to him.
Oh my goodness. Okay, give me 1 second. Mallory, I know you said I can answer that question. Welcome to the chat. How you doing tonight, love?
Hello, hi Jessica. I'm good. Hi panel.
Hi. What are ways that you saw? I don't know. What was the question that was
It was
being?
about the church pushing or
Okay,
upholding.
okay. Just making sure. Oh yeah. So, what are ways that you seen Christianity uphold racism?
Yeah, so I grew up Catholic and went to Catholic school. And for sure, like I didn't know it or see it at the time, but I can see it now as like access. And you know, specifically with Catholic schools, like it can cost a lot of money. And then the location, or I don't know, like the town I was in was mostly white. And even if you could not go, so like one year I went to a private or public school,
Mhm.
and we went to like what's called CCV. So that's like religious classes, right? Because you're not getting religious classes back then in public schools.
Mhm.
So they would go, and that way they could like complete their sacraments in the Catholic Church along the way. And um, you know, just like not having access to the schools or the services or the school, like the education outside, um, it costs a lot of money, you know. And when it came to um, you know, marginalized groups, we did not see them. There's also like an application to apply for these schools and the CCD programs. So,
On the
you know,
application, do they ask you what your race is?
I don't remember because I was a kid at the time.
Mhm.
But when it came to high school, there were interviews, like face-to-face interviews. Um, yeah, it was just bizarre, you know, how little access people had, but then also like how limited our exposure or integration with marginalized groups or POC folks was
Mhm.
happening. We also like would do these like service trips, and we would go to like lower income areas and like kind of do like Habitat for Humanity, um, and do like soup kitchens and that kind of thing. And it was always this like perspective kind of shared from, you know, the people that were leaders or like family members about like feeling like basically putting people in a box, you know, like
Mhm.
they're poor, like we feel sorry for you, like having pity and stuff like that, instead of like being more supportive, offering resources and that sort of thing.
And I wanted to say too, when talking about the access, that's the reason why they wanted to one dismantle the Department of Education because we need you stupid. We need you to be having because the more you know, the more you grow. When you know about sex education, you're less likely to get pregnant too early. Not saying impossible, just
Mhm.
too early. You know, but when you don't know, you had a little boy telling you, "Oh, well, if you get on top, you can't get pregnant." Some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So they need you to be uneducated. There's a reason why they want to automatically. Oh my God! Hey, that's a little surprise box. I was wondering what they got in that thing. Thank you, Kimmy. They want to get rid of the Department of Education, keep you dumb. And then in the public schools, if you have less resources, then you don't know how to make it outside of college. So then I already implement the military. I have you for the draft. We get all your information. Like there's a woman said that her kid twins brought home paperwork saying, when they started school, like, hey, if you don't want their information to be given to the draft, you need to sign this paper to opt out. Something real weird because they're going to use them. But the people who are in private schools don't have to enter the draft. They don't have to give out their information. Also, to the private schools get the vouchers from the federal government so that they can have better schools, right? Because the people who have money, we want to keep them here and want to keep them in power. And we want to teach their lineage how to keep the money and keep them in power. That's why they teach even different types of classes in PWIs or your Harvards and your Yales and whatnot. Mind you, Yale did a study on LGBTQ and also to the Bible and how they lost the translation. And it's not that man shall not lie with man, it's child. So that's a whole another conversation. But they respect Yale till they come out with something they don't like. But they teach these classes, different types of classes in these colleges that teach you how to merge politics and business, teach you how to generational wealth and all these other type of things that they don't even think about in other colleges or even in high schools. So when you say the access, yeah, that's another way to keep others down for sure. Not only per racism, but also
Yeah.
to classism.
And the other I wanted to share too, like with that piece, that even the busing for the private schools. I grew up kind of near Trenton, New Jersey, and there's a large Black community there. And there was, when I first started at that school, like there was no bus to get from that area to the school, and it wasn't close. It's not like down the street or you could walk to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like another area where I saw that
Mm-hmm.
access was just limited. Oh my God. Sorry, my dog just got loose. No, he's fine. Okay. Sorry.
No problem. Yeah, I definitely agree. Also to Resistant 47. How are you doing? Welcome into the chat. How are you feeling tonight?
Hello, good evening, Jessica. I love listening to your lives.
Thank
They're always
you.
educational, informative. I cannot speak much on the church because I left organized religion in 2016.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
I
mean,
lived
even like growing up, did you see anything?
oh,
Well, what's the reason that made you leave?
Trump. I'm in rural North Carolina, and I saw the church overtaken with a man that I found repulsive. And I was like, I can't sit in a pew and hear the Lord and listen to y'all praise this man. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
out.
Did that make you
Um,
question everything that they tell you that they believe up until this point too?
It really did. It really did. I still believe I have a strong faith,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not believe in organized religion. I don't believe that my faith grows sitting in a church pew where a pastor can, tell you who politically you should vote for. I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe it exists. But I also believe that if we want to stop this madness from happening in YT communities, because I am very YT,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be very vocal. So I know people hate platforms like Facebook or, X, but I feel like if I don't keep calling out what's happening on those platforms where those people from my church still have me in their little groups, then I can't get to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Separation of church and state. Yeah, because the church didn't even used to vote, period. And they didn't care nothing about abortion until I think in 1973 or six, one or the other, when they started pushing politicians needed Christians to vote.
Yeah, I mean, and they shouldn't. And I, in this rural town, my husband and I, who happens to be Black, have been married for 30 plus years, and we've raised a beautiful daughter. But we were one family in this town. Like, literally, she was the only Black child in this whole school district for years.
How did they treat her? Hey, Hector.
You know, thank God my husband is a strong, strong man, because for years she kept wanting to straighten her hair, and I was like, no, don't do it, your hair is beautiful, I mean, you have the beauty. And now she has grown into this proud woman who is proud of her heritage and owns who she is.
Did she talk about some of the ways she felt like she was treated, or just the way that she felt?
Yeah, she said that she felt like she had to straighten her hair to fit in. She had to conform to what all the white girls look like. Yeah, we've definitely had discussions about it, and I'm just glad to see, as a grown woman with a master's in public health, she has grown into this beautiful child, and she owns who she is.
Yeah, we're
But
almost to 100K. We're about to be 3 hours, and we can you guys at least get us to 100K. Y'all, I appreciate the tapping.
but I just want to encourage other YT people like myself to don't hold back. I am constantly posting. I'm constantly saying things. I'm sure I'm on a government list somewhere. Don't care.
Do you say things to your friends and family?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, 'cause
I
I
still
think
have
that's
yard
like
signs.
really the closest part. People have no problem coming on the panel sometimes and making a post, but I think the hardest part is talking to your family and friends. A lot of them will avoid them opposed to bringing up the conversation.
Oh no, I still have yard signs in my yard. I still have, I mean, there's a yard sign across the corner from me that said the only good D is one with a bullet in the back of their head. And
Hold on. The only good girl, I was talking about something else. You said good D.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
hollering.
no.
I'm like, not they up there getting freaky with they post. Hold on. He said what?
Yes, this is the area that I live in, and I still have signs in my yard saying MAGA equals chaos. Liberals own guns too. Trust me.
So my thing is, they always say that the left is calling for violence, but he literally just said you say he has a sign that says the only good D is the one in the back of his head.
And he owns a business, and he has his own business sign up there too. Yeah.
The problem is white cis men. I'm not gonna say heterosexual because they all
No, you're right.
undercover. They all undercover.
You're 1000% right, and I will keep calling it out. I will keep fighting against them, and I'm going to keep posting. I'm going to keep my signs, and I am never going to back down. Period.
I love that. And because my thing is every time one of these do something, they say, "Oh, it's mental illness." It seems like the majority of y'all got motherfucking mental illness, which means you shouldn't have positions of power. You most likely have a mental illness just by statistics. The crash and grind to left and right. Yeah, I'm like, boy. Even the guys are like, damn, I can't even get on here and just have a good time because y'all over here turn this bitch up. The fuck? Stealing all the good meat. But that's a whole nother story. 1 second. If anybody needs to go, let me know. But I just had a couple of questions and I'll just go around and ask each person. I also too want to get to Splash and Shauna with that question. Splash, thank you so much for your patience. How you doing, my brother?
Of course. Thank you for having me, sis.
I forgot you got one of them voices. Of course. I just be out here talking to them. Yes. How have you seen Christianity uphold racism? But I did see that you requested that when they started talking about the Israelites, so I didn't know if that was also
Oh
too.
no, it was before that.
Okay.
I had to listen to it, but yeah. So one way I've seen or some of the ways I've seen Christianity hold up racism. Growing up Southern Baptist, one us telling us, so churches obviously only BLK, telling us that we're the cursed children of Ham.
Mm-hmm.
For one, so we're already put in a position of inferiority. Now we have the images of Caesar Borgia hung up.
Mm.
on the cross all around the church. And now we're looking to that as our God. You know what I'm saying? Like the face of our oppressor as our God, and we're already being told that we're inferior. Now you also have when you got prosperity doctrines. So money, money, money. But who's on the face of that money?
Mm-hmm.
That pastors telling us to go and chase and basically worship and give it to God because that's what God want us to do. Then you also have there's a lot. Hold on. ADHD is my bad.
No,
So
that's
I
why I be
said
in
the
here
cursed
taking
children of
notes
Ham. I know I had my
so I
pen
can
and
keep
everything
up.
too. Cursed children of Ham. And then, making our God, a white face. So now that guy right there, Caesar.
The gay
So we're
guy.
worshiping him. Mm-hmm.
He
Yo,
was a
out here
fairy.
worshiping him.
What? He was a fairy. Okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
He was a
Right. Oh,
baddie.
and then also the another doctrine too, this like everything is all forgiving with Jesus Christ, because how convenient is that? Because there's no way that, God would forgive the things that were done to us in, since 1619
Mm-hmm.
to 2025.
And
You
if
know what
that
I'm
were
saying?
even
So
true, why not? If black people just all of a sudden, why can't black people be forgiven too for the same shit, minute
right.
shit, opposed to all the heinous atrocities that they commit? I'm watching the monster on fucking the Ed Gein story on Netflix, and I can't even binge watch it because this motherfucker is crazy.
Yeah, I just put that on my list.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
But oh yeah, you good, sis.
Mhm.
So there's that, and then literally, like, so with Christianity, you have their doctrines, and then you have actually what the Bible says. They say, because everybody goes like, oh yeah, we go off what the Bible says, this, that, and the third, but the Bible will tell you 2 + 2 = 4. Christianity will tell you 2 + 2 = 57.
It's showing weird. I'll be like, how you get that? And they be like, don't
So
ask me how I get that.
exactly, and that's another thing they'll tell you. You're not supposed to ask God why. I'm not asking God, I'm asking you.
Yeah, because you explaining it.
Right.
You explaining
So
it till I got a question you can't answer.
right, exactly. And then also too, when you look at a lot of how you call us, I think they calling us, our ancestors, indentured servants
Mm-hmm.
now. But
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, when you look at every indentured servant revolt, there was always somehow at the focal point of the Bible. Like, why do they have Nat Turner's Bible in the Smithsonian Museum? The same man who they turned his skull into a wine cup.
That's just crazy.
Ate his flesh, used it to make furniture and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Which is
And
the
then
same
also
thing the
too, during
Germans
those
was doing.
times, right? During those times too, it was like training dogs. You know what I'm saying? And just like a good dog, you got to keep it on a tight leash until you trust it. You let it off the leash, and it's right by your hip, spewing out and doing whatever you tell it to do. And that's what our churches do now.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's when they say take the mind, lead the
yeah.
body.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Splash. Also, to Shauna, what are ways that you have seen? Well, one, what made you start deconstructing? And two, what are ways that you seen Christianity uphold racism? And then I think that'll be the last. I have one more question, so you guys can decide. Put a one in chat. I have another more question, or should we just start to wind down? For the night, you guys, give me a follow if you have not done so. Tap the screen. I wouldn't even worry about the gift goal, you guys. We have 220 left in tonight's daily goal. We have 82 people in here. Everybody in here, really, if everybody's in $3 a piece, but I know 80 people are half of them ops and ghost watchers. So if everybody's saying $5, we can go ahead and knock this goal out. Teamwork makes the dream work. Let's be the proof of showing how unity comes together to be able to get something done, you guys. I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you so much. Shauna, okay, go ahead, Shauna.
I had an interesting just childhood, because I grew up in a biracial home. I was the step kid of, a Mexican father. And I also lived in Arizona, in Phoenix. And so for me, Catholicism was it was a lot more Mexican to me than it was white to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like my grandfather on my stepdad's side was a deacon in the church. So for me, that was how I saw the church, was just my experience with it being, very heavily Mexican or Hispanic, and very, I wouldn't even say white. I don't even think I really saw Catholicism as white as much as I saw it as Hispanic, just because the people that I knew that were in the church were Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for me, like I never, I always had a problem. I feel like the last person that spoke, Splash, I always had a problem with, the Cain and Abel story. And how they used that story in order to justify racism. Because in my house, like, my mom, I was telling you last night, she married a Mexican man in 1980. And that wasn't, smiled upon back then. She had to deal with a lot of, racism towards her. Not, I guess not racism, but white men were angry with her for marrying a Mexican man, and they had to deal with that a lot whenever they went out. She said they experienced it a lot. So for me to grow up with a mom who was, willing to deal with that and still, marry him despite all of the problems, I think that had a lot of effect on me, because like, I tell people I could go in my house and I could tell my mom to F off before I could use the N-word in my house. I mean, there was just no racial epithets allowed in my house. And my mom raised me as someone, if they're going to say those words, you're going to speak out and say, no, you're not saying those words around me, and I teach
Mm-hmm.
my kids that too. Um, I mean, I teach my kids more about racism because my son likes to play video games. So I
Oh
actually
yeah,
teach
and
them.
those games are fucking crazy. Shout out to LM. Thank you for the $5 choo choo train. Come on, ride it. Shout out. See how we work together, you guys. Also to Michelle, thank you for the $3 to add to tonight's goal. If we work together as a team, I hate for anything to always be on one person. So I always believe in teamwork makes the dream work. And plus, who wants to do it by themselves? It's always better with a team. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love. Thank you, Splash. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. But with my kids, like I even teach them more about racism than I do about, you know, illegal medications,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that I think it's just as dangerous, and I think that it's easier for them to fall in that, because I think that there's a lot more tricks out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that because, and I think that religion did kind of help me see that, because like I said, I didn't like the Cain and Abel story. I thought that having an excuse for racism didn't make any sense. The whole, all of the slavery stuff, how can you call yourself a Christian and then also have slaves at the same time? Like, how can you see a person as less than a person? Like, to me, the logic is so not sound, so illogical, that I struggled with it. When I was in high school, my junior year in high school, I went to a Catholic high school and everybody got confirmed. And like I said, I was in a Mexican family, and my cousin got confirmed at that age, and we were the same age. So it was like a big deal that I didn't get confirmed. But I told my mom, I was just like, I can't make a promise like this when I see so many things that are ugly at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. I didn't see it as, I just saw Christianity as being ugly towards Black people, not Mexicans or Hispanics, and not white people, but Black people. And I didn't like that, because it just didn't,
Didn't
it,
make sense.
it didn't make sense. It'll never make sense. And it's hard to even talk about it because it's so illogical, because we are all people. And when I went to my Catholic school, they would have, our religion class would match our English class, would match our history class. So we were learning all of it at once, which was a great way to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
But because you're doing that, you're also noticing things, and you're putting things together that you might not put together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Give
And
me
I'm a
one
very
second.
analytical person, and
I am too. And I think that's
and
also too where we're lacking at. Jamie, thank you for the dodo as well. Continuing that $5 train. I appreciate you. Drop some coconuts for LM, Michelle, and Jamie. I appreciate you. And Pam, did you say the name of the movie was called Fertility? And if so, where can I watch it? And also to put some coconuts in the chat for you guys. We are finally at 100K, y'all. So let's just keep tapping, see if we can get to 150K before we even get off, you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. W Royal family, W chat, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, I think that we're missing a lot of people are not thinking critically, they're not analyzing, they don't know how to analyze any type of situation or have any fucking common sense. It feels like people can just tell you it's fucking they can piss on you and tell you it's raining. No problem. Thank you so much for coming
I
up,
think the
Southern.
challenge is the justification. That's the problem. That's where all of the issues lie is, people will say, oh, this is wrong unless, you do something to me first. And I think that's what's going on with the MAGA right now is they're justifying everything. They're saying, well, you went after Donald Trump and you guys investigated him. And so it's okay for us to do all these investigations. No, the difference is Donald Trump was actually committing crimes. I mean, look at January 6th, look at the stuff that he was doing. And so it's this culture of justification, and that's, slavery. That's everything. It's almost, it's why I don't like this go to church on Sunday and your sins are forgiven. Like, I don't think that that's what Jesus's method. That's what pisses me off about the whole Christianity thing. I just have never believed that Jesus's message was, you know what, we're all sinners and that stinks, but you just ask for forgiveness and everything's good. No, Jesus's
Mm-hmm.
message was, don't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Jesus's message was. And it's like they don't even see that, and like
Mm-hmm.
the climax of the story is when Jesus is on a cross and they're mistreating him. And he says to the guy next to him, also on a cross, that is in fact a thief, that,
Mm-hmm.
that they don't know what they're doing, that they shouldn't be doing this. And that is the freaking climax of the story. Yet we still have the death penalty in the Christian nation.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But we pro-life
where
too.
is the logic? Yeah, you're like, see, when I went to Catholic school, in religion class, we actually had a lesson on, I remember it clear as day because it was one of my favorite lessons, where my teacher said, the opposite
Nicole,
of
thank you for
pro-life
the
is not.
$5 choo-choo train. Keep it going, you guys. We are working our way on down. Thank you so much. Drop some coconuts for Nicole as well, y'all. I'm sorry, go
He
ahead.
would say the opposite of pro-choice was not, pro-life. You know what I mean? He would say you can't say you're pro-life if you're also, pro-death penalty.
Mhm.
If there's an excuse, there's an excuse.
If you're not
And
for the things that allow children and human beings to have prolific lives, you want them. You're pro-birth because you're pro-life, but you
yes,
take away great. You're taking away things that help kid trafficking, human trafficking. You take away um penalties for rapists and all of these other types of things.
well, the
You
fact
don't
that
do anything about the school unalivings. You take away free lunch. You take away the
free
books
lunch.
in school. You take away funding from schools. How is that pro-life if you're not even setting them up to have a prolific life?
Exactly. And I think that was my biggest problem in high school. And I almost, looking back on it, I was like, oh, there wasn't that much racism. But now that we're actually having this conversation, I'm realizing that there was. Like I was telling you last night, I started the multicultural club because the teachers, nobody was doing anything about the racism. No one was even calling it out. And it
Mm.
was very frustrating for me. My junior year paper was on blood diamonds in Africa. Like, as a matter of fact, when my husband, the ring that I have is a manufactured diamond ring. And we got that, 20, 30 years, 20 years ago, before it was even really popular, well known, because I'm so anti getting a diamond from Africa because I know
Yeah.
too much. But these are things that, like, I was the weird kid because I was, the one that was interested in that stuff. And I was the one that, it was like I was a social justice warrior in, the early 90s in high school when it probably wasn't all that cool. Now that I think about it. And I think the reason, though, that I am so adamant about this and why it's so important to me is because I do have a Mexican dad.
Yeah.
Or, stepdad. I do have, Mexican sisters. Sure, they're white passing, but I do still have that. So it might not be racism directed towards me, but it's so adjacent to me that it angers me.
Thank you, Kimmy. Drop some coconuts for Kimmy too for getting on that train. I appreciate you, love. Drop some coconuts for Kimmy.
But that's all I got for that. That's my piece.
That was real great. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
Yeah.
And if anybody else wanted to add anything, nobody really wants to. We'll start winding it down too.
Let me just throw something out there.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think the one thing I just want to get across to everybody is, just as racism is taught, anti-racism is also taught. We have to be just as vigilant with our kids to, help them recognize the softball racism, what's the word I'm looking for, Jessica? You're so prolific with words.
Every now and then,
the hidden racism, like the
the
little
covert
remarks.
racism, the microaggressions, the
Yes,
microaggressions.
the
Mm-hmm.
microaggressions. That's what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You have to teach your kids what those are and about them, because these racists, they're sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
They're so sneaky. They're better than the dealers, and they push more than the dealers, if you will. They really, really do. And if your kid is, especially if your kid is white, and especially if your kid's on the internet, especially if your kid's a gamer, any of that stuff, you got to be teaching them about the creepy men, online, but you also got to teach them about the racists.
I have some thoughts about that too. Give me 1 second. Can I drop some massive coconuts for Pam in the chat? Thank you, beautiful. Yeah. Drop some massive coconuts for Pam. Thank you so much for jumping on the train as well. And Splash said, what kind of train is this and how do I get on it? Yes, I was saying there was 82 people in here. Everybody, we all come together and send $5 piece. We can drop our daily goal. So it's a $5 donate to I'm Jessica Simone on the green or the blue app. That what do you call it? Dash cap or Schmendo, because we can't necessarily say those particular things on here, but those the green or the blue app. So I thank you everybody that show love. Drop some more coconuts for Pam. She said watch a movie called Fertility. It's about a single dad with two boys who see God in the middle of the night, and he tells his boys that God gave him a damn, is it not giving me the rest of it? Shit. Anybody in here seen Fertility?
Mm-mm.
Let me see. No, frailty is what it's called. Let me see.
Did you also see that Snapped movie by Jordan Peele? I think
Snap?
it's called Snap.
I saw Get Out.
Nope.
There you go, frailty. Yes, because I'm looking at it real quick, and I'm thinking, you know how the I's and the L's and the T's kind of run together sometimes. So I thought it said fertility, but it's frailty, and it's about a widow blue collar worker has a revelation. He must destroy those revealed to him as demons. He then begins to do serial unalivings of God's hand unaliver across Texas. But he also has two young sons, the younger of whom idolizes him and believes in the cause, while his older brother is revolted but cannot bring himself to stop his father. 20 years later, the elder son walks into a police station and confesses. Wow. Wow. Frailty. Probably to go to the white fragility shit. They do it in the name of unaliving. There's just a covert reason to get people to either go along with it or not tell on them. Okay. Hey, Splash. Thank you for the no getting on that train. Come on, ride that train. And ride it. Choo choo. Can y'all drop some coconuts for Splash in the chat? I think it's counting right. Don't mind me for using my fingers. Thank you so much, Splash. I appreciate you. It sounds for me. I'm definitely gonna check that one out. Frailty. They always do this in the name of Jesus. And the thing that you said that you got to watch those covert. They're very deceitful. I had a revelation when they talk about you know, white people. You know how they say white people are inherently racist, right? And then he said that white people are inherently deceitful. They live to deceive. And it reminds me of especially of a lot of white men, but the goal is to deceive. They get off on deceiving. They get off on the deceit. Like if you watch The Apprentice, Trump gets off on the con. He said, I love making deals. I love being able to lie to you so much that you'll give me whatever you want and I can just bullshit my way out of it. And I got you. Like, I don't even care about that. I care about the con is the mission, right? I can unalive people and call in the name of Jesus. I can deceive it. Because I'm like, why don't a lot of the MAGAs, that's why I say, shout out to all of the white people who get out, bitch. The get out that Jordan Peele should have made was to white people, because I feel like the biggest lie is to y'all, because they have to get you to believe the lie more than anybody to uphold what they're trying to do. So, and they do it through religion, white nationalism. Like they're like, if we're doing white nationalism and their guys are lying to you guys and telling you you're superior, you're this and you're that, and it goes against all the teaching, and they don't even want black people in the church. The lie is to you. The lie is for you. You know what I mean? More so, they don't even really care, I feel, because they need you to get to uphold what they want to do to everybody else. So, the deceit, they get off on the deceit. I got your money, I got your children, I got your mind, I got your soul. And whenever I say move, you'll do whatever I tell you to do. And you won't even question it. So my thing is like when you talk about like they're sneaky, it's the deceit. Like I like to be sneaky. A lot of magazines, I'm like, why don't they say everything and it doesn't even make no fucking sense. To cover up racism and hate. Why I'm like, why don't you just say you racist? I didn't vote for her because I don't like her laugh. So I'm gonna vote for the felon who rape women, who don't even believe in God, don't know no verse. Because I don't like somebody's laugh. Just say you racist. No. Because I gotta I gotta deceive. I'm gonna deceive you. I can't even be
Yeah, they're
honest with
fine with the
myself to either.
actions. They're fine with the actions, but not the words, not the symbols. But the
Mhm.
actions they're fine with. Just don't call them what they are.
Mhm. Yeah, and then why they are white women submissive to this blows my fucking mind. Blows my mind. But this also too, I was thinking earlier today when I was watching Monster, like they don't give any white women power, right? You're supposed to be submissive to this and that and the other. Everybody wants some type of control, not necessarily like power, but over their own lives to some degree. And if you strip them of all of it, they'll be yearning for it. So if I take all the white women's power and I give you a slave, that's where you can take all your anger out on. That's the part where you feel like you got a little bit of control. You ain't got control over your body. You ain't got control over who you marry. You ain't got control over when you get to sleep with the man. You ain't got control over your own career. But I'll give you control over this fucking slave, and now you're angry about so much other shit, you just take it out on them, and then they groom you to treat these people a certain way. And just in even in now in society, the way a lot of white women are raised to be submissive and can't speak out and do all of this. Shout out to y'all that do, because I know that goes against the way you were raised. Um, they want somebody else to be suppressed. Misery still loves company. I love to see this happening to you because it takes my mind off of what I'm going through, which is why people watch Wretched TV. I've talked about like, oh, y'all watch Wretched TV on Sunday because if shit in my life is like fucked up, I'm like, damn, you could be one of these crazy ass bitches up here looking stupid. Like, your life is better. And I do a lot of self-reflecting, even on one of those small, minute things that I do and why I would do them. And when it comes to them, it's on a larger and more grand scale. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a lot to unpack when it comes down to white people, white men, and white women. And I just found out today that during Trump's first administration, there was one doctor that they hired that was doing 86% of they were doing forced abortions and forced hysterectomies to the women who were detained under ICE during his first administration. I don't even know who Kyron Lacey is, Rebecca, but feel free to come up and talk about her. But yeah, feel free to jump in, you guys. We can start getting into the last thoughts of today. I'm probably because I think that we can all agree that especially white men are the root of our problems. The safety of America FBI has said it themselves. They are commit some of the most violent crimes, the systemic oppression, the projection, the breaking down grinder, but you mad at all the gays. So I think it's important, like moving forward, I will be doing a lot more topics and trying to get down to the root of these issues in different types of ways, but to have conversation about them. And we can recognize because there are also two people who may be trying to get out, but feel like they have nobody to talk to. They don't know Ashana. They don't know Resistant 47 or Kimmy. You know what I mean? So like I think it's important to have these conversations. They may be like, oh, okay. Because when you do try to be it's crazy. Try to be a better fucking person with morals and care about human rights and care about people, period. They want to ostracize you. You know, oh, if you bring a black man home, I'm going to take away your trust fund. You're no daughter of mine. We're going to kick you out. And they leave you with nothing. Hola, Gino. Oh, ¿cómo estás, hermosa? Also to Kali Z, welcome into the chat. How are you feeling? I feel like you've been here before and you may have told us what made you start deconstructing, but for all the new people
I'm
that
doing
are
good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. For all the new people in here, what made you start deconstructing and what are some ways that you've seen Christianity uphold racism?
I don't think I've actually told you that. I think the last time I came in, I mentioned what was going on with the Afrikaners who came here to Idaho.
Mm.
That's all I
Yes, you
mentioned.
were, which is
Yeah,
crazy
that's
because of the
amazing.
Afrikaners, y'all. If y'all don't
Yeah,
know,
that little kid.
they gave them homes. Y'all was mad at immigrants for getting a couple of dollars in food stamps, allegedly, and staying a few days in a old hotel. But then they brought the Afrikaners over here and gave them farms, right? If I'm not mistaken. Collie, we can't hear you if you're speaking. Kimmy, like you can't even see me. Thank you so much, Gina.
Yep.
Okay, I think you're back. Homeless vets roam the streets of America. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't give them no farmhouse or nothing like that. You got bars, Collie.
Yep, there we go. That should hopefully fix that.
Gotcha. It's
Notice I'm
11:11. If you're in Central Standard Time, make a wish, everybody.
Yep, which is fun because up here in Boise, we were a sanctuary city until our beloved governor decided to work with ICE because, you know, Idaho may as well be a sundown state with how wonderfully racist everyone in this state is.
What state?
Idaho.
Okay, don't go. Let me write that down. Don't go to Idaho. Mm-hmm.
Yep, especially northern Idaho, because northern Idaho is where the A Nation pretty much started
Mm.
in one way or another. Also, the A Nation prison gang started here in Idaho.
Mm.
So that should tell you plenty about this lovely state and the sort of people you find in it.
Mm.
Which that was a real shock for me moving here. I had one of those sort of like backwards kind of things. I was born in New York, stayed there till I was 11. Then we moved to Massachusetts for a bit, California, and then came here. So I was used to diversity, you know, people of multiple ethnicities, races, and everything, and then come here to Idaho where it's like 92% white people. So it was kind of a shock to move here
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly not see people from different ethnicities. And so that was kind of different for me. And I actually, you know, just kind of being raised up in that sort of situation, all of the general, you know, more kind of soft racist sort of things. Like it took me until a couple years ago to sort of realize just the sort of situation I was raised up in, because of course I was never outwardly somebody that thought, you know, any kind of bad thing. I was the sort of person where oddly enough, the church that I was raised up in until I was 11 was actually what you would think churches should be. The little town that I was raised up in, the church we went to actually was very helpful to people in the congregation. We actually my family was very much helped if we needed food, if we needed medicine, if we need, clothing, things of that nature. So the church always felt very safe, very comfortable. Only things I ever remember getting out of it was this feeling that we're supposed to help people.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to, love one another, help each other out. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your background is or any of that stuff. You're just supposed to help people. Like, that's the main thing I ever remember getting out of that church. That and those stupid songs that I can never get out of my head. Even, 3 decades, 4 decades later, they're still stuck in my head. But
Mm-hmm.
because of that, after we moved away, can't go to any other churches. I can't stand it. The feeling is different. The people are different. And learning more about religion because I was 11 when we moved away from it, everything about it feels wrong. It feels
What did they do
manipulative.
that like, that makes you like, what are some examples of things that happen that you say, "Oh shit, this ain't right. That ain't right."
Yeah, well, the first church that I went to, which was in California, because a friend of mine wanted me to go with her, was in a strip mall. So that was weird to me.
Hold
I'm
on,
like, why is this in a strip mall?
the church was in the strip mall?
It was in a strip mall.
Let me tell you something, the church is the biggest grift of America.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And they had projectors up, like little, the little projector things, and they played tidbits from a movie.
Not I'm not
And
preaching
then,
today, like in school, we brought that TV in there and we're gonna watch a movie today.
yeah, like something like that. And they put like a little bit up for like, showing a little bit of like some film of like Jesus's life or whatever. And I was like, wait, what? What? This is weird. And they had a little gift shop
Jesus
in
is
the part
highlight
of it.
reels.
Yeah, and I'm just like, wait, what? Like, first of all, the strip mall thing was weird to me because, like, the church that I went to was like your little tiny, like your little white church with the steeple for the bells. Like, it was a very traditional church and it had a little outbuilding, which is where the Sunday school was, and you could have events in it and stuff. And like that was the church I went to for 11 years. I was like baptized there and everything. And the other church in town was the Catholic church, and it was also very traditional style church. Those were the only two churches in the town. And the concept of a strip mall church where they showed that kind of stuff
Good
and
night,
they had
Pam. Get you some rest. Thank you so
like,
much. Y'all drop some
what
coconuts
the
for Pam
heck?
again in the chat. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate
I
you,
was like,
Queen.
this whole thing is
I love
weird.
you.
And like talking on a microphone and then having a little band, and it all felt really weird. And then I found out some more stuff about it, and it wasn't Mormon. I don't remember what church it was. I didn't even know about Mormons actually till I came here to Idaho, which is kind of funny considering Mormons started in New York.
I didn't know that because they seem to be prevalent in Utah.
They're very prevalent in Utah because they kind of got kicked out of New York. And and the best part too is the Mormons that are too crazy for Utah get kicked into Idaho. So we have the crazy Mormons here. That's another thing too. They have a seminary that is attached to all the high schools here in Idaho. So every high school has a little seminary building just off campus, so that the Idaho people can, like the Mormons, can have their little seminary, which is actually an elective class. So that was another thing that sort of made me go, what in the heck, when I moved here? Like, they literally have, yeah, you can have classes. Like, seminary is a required thing for high school kids here in Idaho. Yeah, for Mormon. Like, that attached to public school. It's not like it's a Catholic school
Hey,
or a
Blue.
Christian private school. This is attached to public schools here in Idaho. They have seminary attached to a public school. I
You
don't know.
know,
It's just like, this is so weird.
when I was watching Meet the Duggars and they was talking about the IDLP, they talked about having homeschool because again, remember, in order to keep up with the lie, you can't have the lie hanging around the truth every day. In order to keep up with the propaganda, you got to keep us segregated. because you can't have the lie hanging around the truth every day. So if I'm lying to white people about other people, I can't have y'all hanging around each other. I only want you to believe what I believe. So they wanted them homeschool. Didn't Donald Trump talk about homeschooling? Because he wanted to send all the white kids
Hmm.
back to home to their parents so we can all teach the same shit, right? It's a home, and they buy their homeschool products and stuff from the IDLP church. They have booklets and shit where they talking about where they pretty much slut shame. They show you pictures of whores, not whores, women with certain outfits on. They were like, which one is the not the good one? I can't remember what they called it, but it was crazy. But in IDLP, they have a homeschool to politics pipeline. So they homeschool you, tell you only what you need to know about Jesus, and all you're gonna die, go to hell, do whatever I say. Let me grape you, it's all right. And then and they take the children around like junior high and high school and stuff from very young, like the Capitol, on to different places and say, oh, there's a war against, Christians and stuff like that. So they groom them to be politicians. So which is why I say, you guys, vote it. They're not telling theirs not to vote. They got a whole program to push them to be politicians, right? So don't think your vote doesn't matter. So they have a homeschool to politician pipeline. If you guys have not seen Shiny Happy People on Prime, it's only 4 episodes. It's about the Duggar family, 19 and counting. If you don't know, the oldest son is in jail for CSAM, and he was also caught molesting his sisters. But the police officer told him, "It's okay. I'm going to let you go this time. Don't let it happen again." And that police officer is also in jail for 56 years for CSAM. Um, but it also talks about the connection with the IDLP and the teachings that they were taught, you guys. So I recommend maybe we're gonna watch that. That's gonna be our next movie night. We'll watch one episode. Maybe we'll watch one episode either each week, or we'll do one episode but twice a week for like the next 2 weeks. Like maybe we'll do one um, maybe Thursday, and then we'll do one Saturday. We'll figure it out, but we'll figure it out. It's 7 episodes. I thought it was more episodes. Why did I feel like when I went to go look, how many scenes? Anyways, but you can keep going, Shauna, or anybody who wants to get in it. Not Shauna, Collie. I know you were talking. Hey, oh yeah, my bad. I'm doing 1,000 things at once. How many episodes?
Hey,
No,
Jazz, I
that
just
does
wanted
not
to
shock me.
say, oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're
I,
fine.
j- I just wanted to add, like, aside from not only politicians, but they also groom them while they're in homeschooling and keep them isolated. And there's a pipeline to military as well,
Mm.
and then they go down that, well, now it's MAGA pipeline, military to
Mm-hmm.
MAGA pipeline, cult to military to MAGA.
Oh.
Um, and it just it also like preys upon the poor population, and there was a huge push during even COVID, like for Christians, Catholics to start homeschooling because of the vaccine stuff. And add to that the parents that were losing their jobs, or choosing not to get the vaccine and therefore let go of their jobs. Now they had this, like, you know God's will kind of idea that, oh yeah, now I can homeschool. Um, so yeah.
IBLP, my product. I put IDL people. IDLP is IB, Institute and Basic Life Principles, in reference to a church. It referred a fundamentalist Christian organization founded by Bill Gothard. IBLP's teachings emphasize conservative values, large families, because they teach you to have as many children as God will let you have. That's why she had 19 fucking kids. And with the Latter Day Saints, up in Utah, the Latter Day Saints, they also teach that, and they do polygamy, and so all of the wives have at least 11 or
Mhm.
12 children, like 11, yeah, as many as you can have. A woman said, and they live in fucking filth, and she said, I only see my dad to come over when my mom's having birth or to knock her up again. It's a fundamentalist church founded by Bill Gothard. Teachings emphasize conservative values, large families, homeschooling, and patriarchal structures within the family. The organization experienced declining popularity after numerous allegations of sexual harassment and molestation against the founder, Bill Gothard, leading him to step down in 2014. And it's crazy because he taught this to all of them, whooping your kids, having many as possible, slut shaming, homeschool to politician pipeline. The women had to infantilize their voice. They had to talk very light. So the lady from the Duggars, her voice, she was used to be a cheerleader. Her voice was very deep, and she had to talk like this because all of the women had to have very light voices and shit like that. But he never married and he never had children. And that's why I don't get how y'all be following somebody that ain't even talking, walking like they talking. You know what I'm saying? They don't even walk it like they talk it, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true.
So,
Now look at Trump.
yep, exactly. Exactly. Hey Jordan, how you doing? Y'all, we are almost there. We have 87 left and tonight's goal. We're gonna start wrapping it down anyway. No worries, no worries. I appreciate you, love. Also, too, shout out to LM. I just want to thank you for getting me hyped in the beginning because I didn't even think we was gonna make it this long. Okay, about to make me some noodles, take me some Tylenol PM, take my ass to bed. Any last thoughts? I'll start from the bottom and go up to the top. Started from the bottom, then we here. Let her cook, okay? Because he came here to cooked on it. Peace. How you doing? And everybody over on the YouTube, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you so much. If you guys are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please make sure you are. It's the same name, Jessica Simone, as we continue to move. Also, too, we have the link for women. You can also get a membership there because obviously when TikTok is bought, we will no longer be here. That's a place where that's also too a very safe place where we can also go live. That's where our book club will be. Okay. And all of the opportunities, grant opportunities, how we can support each other's businesses and be there for one another and have those conversations. We might not necessarily want to have in front of men, period. You know what I mean? And build each other up because we are the power. You can't tell me I got the power, the portal of life in between my legs, and then tell me I ain't got no power. It just doesn't work like that. It's in the link. Remind me to message you about it too, Tania. I got you. And I'll if you need the link, send message me Taylor or Saji or Saji. You got it. But yeah, it's on. And once you sign up, there's an app that you can download to always have the link at your fingertips. Turn on your notifications just in case some grant opportunities or we go live. We want to start a book club. The book club in there. Most of our books will be from there in there. No problem, resistant. Most of our book club will be in there. And we'll also have people come in to women most likely come in, different therapists, psychologists, also business women who tell us how to build up our businesses. Um, you know, motivational speakers, how to run for politicians, and tell us, things that we can do and how we continue to push women and put them in positions of power. Okay, go ahead, Colleen. Any last words that you want to add for tonight? Tomorrow's we are what's I'll give my yeah. Any last words you want to add? Because I was
Well,
about to
since
go
we
out
did bring
again.
up the real fun part about the homeschooling, so we had a thing pass here in Idaho where they're giving out vouchers so people can decide to go to schools and whatnot. They're basically trying to defund all the public schools
Mm-hmm.
so that private schools get to be the thing. And we already have basically next to nothing funding our public schools as it is here, and we have some pretty terrible, you know, that sort of stuff anyway. We have barely anything to help out women here since we have the really strict abortion laws here, AB laws here. We've lost 22% of OBGYNs in this state, which is really impacting the rural communities, of course.
Same in Texas.
Yeah, same in Texas. We have we've implemented the bounty laws for people's blind
Hey,
health
thank you for the blind box. Sorry.
and all that sort of fun thing. So yeah, here in Idaho, we're I like to joke that we're the Texas of the North with the we're all about the freedoms, but red is red state with a bunch of people who have zero idea what they're doing, which is actually hurting everybody. So yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that something might change. My best friend actually is a part of the Idaho 5051 here, and we are trying our hardest to put a lot of pressure on the representatives and such here, which my friend actually got to talk to one of the state representatives today, the Democratic minority leader. So hopefully something will come from that. We've been stalking the House and Senate representatives, which is not really doing much of anything because they're old white men.
Yep,
So
that's why we gotta get him out of there. Yeah, I
that's
did.
the
I changed it right
plan.
before you put the comment in there because I knew we was about to get out of here. I appreciate you, Queen.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
So
me.
we're
This
doing
is.
our best. So
Thank you so
fighting the
much.
good fight.
We're trying. You got to get him out of there, y'all. We got to get him
Oh,
out of
we're
there.
doing our best. We got a couple of good candidates that we're keeping an eye on here, but we shall see. Fingers crossed. It's Idaho's got limited stuff, but we got a couple of women we're hoping to get into
Make sure they're not
power.
MAGA.
They
Because they
are not.
dangerous.
They are not. Yeah, no, we're definitely keeping an eye out for that one. So no, we're definitely the only downfall is it's progressive here is a lot harder to convince people because
Yeah, because that's the heart of a lot.
this is people here.
Well, thank you
it's fun.
so much, Kali. I appreciate you for coming up tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Good
You have a
night.
good night.
You too. Any last words? Kimmy, thank you so much for joining us as well. Oh, let me send you a request to unmute. I know you said you was having trouble.
I was just about to tell you that. Not too much of anything, just we gotta get everybody out that's in there right now. If there's no way to turn it around, they're out for everybody. All this medical stuff they're doing against women. We already know Black women don't get the care that they should, and it's gonna get worse for all women. Period. As a matter of fact, and something I just sent you a video earlier of a man showing this device they use when they implant birth, like the IUDs, but he he used it on a form of a penis, and like it's sorry, just watch
No.
it.
You good. I'm just like, that's crazy.
But he did it to show, that's what they use on females when they, on women when they, try to grasp the cervix to hold it in place. And it literally looks like a pair of tweezers with some points on it. I don't have that problem anymore because, I've had a hysterectomy. I'm 44. But, just the fact that young ladies are having to go through this without no medicine, without anesthesia or nothing, they give men medicine for everything under the sun. This is off topic from what we're talking about. But anyhow, I just wanted to mention that to you before we go on because I want any I gave it to that one right. Yeah, look at that thing. And it grabs us. That's crazy. I've never seen one of those before. So when I saw it, I was like, oh no, I'm sending this, and we need to show all women this so they can show all men this. And show what some women have to go through with it. It's crazy. There's no reason a man should be making decisions about our body.
That's what I'm saying. If they let more women do what the fuck they need to do, we could come up with some shit.
Man,
we could figure it out. The fuck.
And honestly, I don't know why they're so worried about women running things, because women have been running households for years with no problem, then got jobs on top of it after everything and still ran the households. There is absolutely no way. And I think they robbed us. It was stolen. Kamala was stolen from us. I don't care what nobody says. That was they bought him his place, and the only reason he's doing what he's doing is to stay his happy butterscotch butthole out of jail. So, anyways, white women, We need to call out people as you see them on the spot. I don't care if you know them, don't know them, look at them crazy, tell them they're wrong. Just we just got to
Yeah.
start to do something. We just got,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I just love following all of you guys. I don't like to talk too much because I don't know. I'm not a talker. So I
It's okay.
appreciate you
You do,
having.
you do amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming up.
I appreciate it. It's what. See, I
Oh,
can't.
Dawn sent you some love. Kimmy.
Oh, thank you. I
Hmm.
appreciate y'all. Y'all don't have to. I really wish y'all would hype up Miss Simone here. She was Jessica. She is absolutely wonderful, and always them like Hector always says, always them shiny cheeks. You're so gorgeous, and ain't even got no makeup on. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, I was feeling like shit today. I was like, oh, they ain't getting no makeup today, but I love them. I love y'all.
Gorgeous,
Thank you
gorgeous.
so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming up, Kimmy.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Bye.
Mallory.
Hey.
How you doing? Thank you. Look at you. Thank you for coming up today. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I appreciate these topics because I do get to hear about other white people deconstructing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, generational trauma gets passed down, and I know a lot of white people have had more exposure, more privilege to things that help them to deconstruct or even just separate out from their families in that way. But at the same time, like white women need to listen to Black women and, you know, talk with, listen to, whether it's podcasts or things like these TikTok lives, and really support them, you know, and uplift Black women. I think that, you know, no one's free until Black women are free, you know, and um, it's a mess, you know, and listen to Black women.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I would have to agree. I mean, it's a funny thing. They at the front for all the movements, and then they say, "Oh, we should have listened to them." And like Janae would say, you don't want to listen to Black people, women until they start talking. You know.
Yeah, 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 and be on those front lines, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm.
Um, there's no reason why we can't, you know, or support in any way you can. And Kamala, yeah, did try to tell us all.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they wouldn't even listen to her or they, you know, minimized anything that she had to say or tried to, you know, bring her down when she obviously we know that she was overqualified for that position to become president.
Mm-hmm.
And to have, you know, two women up for presidency fairly close together and neither of them get it, like it just goes to show that um, obviously we know that um, women come second to the white man, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, Black women are not even getting the time of day.
Which
Whether
is
it's like
why.
entertainment or in the education, absolutely support Black women. Um, yeah, there's a lot, you know what I mean? There's so
Mm-hmm.
much to this topic. I can keep going, but
That's why I was like, I think we should begin dive deeper into it for better understanding for sure.
right.
And then also too, you guys can find each other and build even more community to and be stronger in numbers when you are calling out your family and your friends and your
Yeah.
churches and whatnot. I think that's important
Yeah.
too.
I mean, there's, you know, personal safety that has to come into play, but at the same time, like, if it's not us, who's going to have these conversations with the white people that won't have conversations or, you know, be in community with Black people?
Mhm.
Um, it has to be us. And, you know, if it's not, like, who would it be? You know, they're going to have interactions with Black people, and it's not it should not have ever been on them, you know. And something that really changed my mind on a lot of different things is like really paying attention to the subtleties within your own home about, how white male supremacy is just upheld. I think it was Alina and other panelists that she had that talked about, just even the leisure gap, and things like that, and just look
Mhm.
to see like where you're giving your free labor and how
Mhm.
much that's, pushed. And yeah, I mean, yeah.
Thank you so much. Can y'all drop
There's
some
so much to
coconuts
it,
for
but look
Mallory
in the
for
black
coming up in the
woman.
chat today? Period. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I appreciate
Thank you,
you.
Jess. Thank you.
I am going to give my final thoughts as we continue to have this conversation. I feel like we have really good conversations when we talk about this and then learning so much and also to deep diving into the root of the problem. Y'all, they always talk about quote unquote black on black crime, which is majority a result of systemic oppression for survival, opposed to white men who have everything who are just unaliving for the fucking heck of it. Or in the name, ain't even in the name of Jesus. Jesus is just a disguise for the fuck of it. Just because, right? So and then we're 13%. We need to worry about the majority of what's fucking up America, right? We need to talk about what the demographic that the FBI says that is the number one the thing that would most likely tear America down is white men. And we need to talk about getting into those households, what's happening in these households. They talk about, oh, you don't have a dad in the house, but these men do, and that they still go out and unalive people. So what are these fathers teaching them? What about the mothers that are upholding it? Like even the women, the people who come up here and who have had trauma in their household and with the racism, like Bree, I don't know if you're still in here, Bree. Put a one in the chat if you are, or just comment. But I want to know who was more detrimental to you. Was it the mom or the dad? Like what parts are they playing? We need to know what to look for. Not only just for the safety of people of color, for black people, for women, for children, for white women, for white young white boys. We need to know all of that. We need to know what we're looking for because that is the root of our fucking problem. When they let black people just live their lives, we had our own. We had Black Wall Street. We were thriving. We were innovative. Damn near all of our essentials that we use today are created by black people. They're the reason we are in space. The reason why you come to a red light, your cell phone, the mic that is in our podcast, so we can be able to have these conversations. The alarm system that you use to protect your house. So many things created. The Jack Daniels that you drink, right? The heat for our homes, the air that keeps you cool in the fucking summertime. Where would America be, or damn near the world for that matter, without black people, right? So we got to get down to the root of a problem so that we can actually really save America. Tomorrow is We Are What's Live Wednesdays. I'll start the live about 6:30. To give everybody time to get into the live, and then at 7 o'clock we will be bringing in Alina Mina, Miss Alina Mina. We will be talking about misogyny and how America does not like women. These are things that she is passionate about, which is obviously to one of the things I'm passionate about too as a woman, especially as a woman of color. So I'm excited to get into it about that. Again, on Wednesdays, we have We Are What's Left Wednesdays with a different creator from the We Are What's Left directory. You can check out the website at www.wearewhat'sleft.org. Always so get your feedback and sign up for the newsletter so you can stay up to date on what's happening. Also, to you guys, make sure that you are following me and following We Are What's Left. If you are not following We Are What's Left, you need me to pull it up, put a one in the chat, and let me know. I will definitely do so. Also, to make sure you guys are following Oya in the Ujima Syndicate. She also too has a community to be able to bring creators together and just support marginalized communities and have opportunities and just kind of be able to support each other. I want to say thank you to my top 3. Alrighty then. Thank you, LM. Came here. Y'all, we wouldn't have had this live if it wasn't for LM. Probably wouldn't even be here. So please drop some coconuts for LM in the chat right Mickey Picky now, y'all. Thanks to massive coconuts. Also massive coconuts too for Pam for really coming through as well. Shout out to my number 2, Kim May, and thank you for coming up on the panel, as well as Don number 3. Thank you so much, you guys, for all your love and support. I appreciate you. We knocked out our gift gallery, so we're good. Tomorrow there will not be a daily gift goal for me. On Wednesday, I just want to kind of like amplify the creators here, so make sure you guys show them some love. I mean, show me some love too, but we won't have a daily goal, but I definitely want to show them some love and make them feel welcome and feel loved when they arrive. Okay.
My God.
Hey, thank you for the globe. Okay. But this is double XL manifesting. Well, let me manifest on that globe. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate you, love. So yeah, shout out to my top 3. I appreciate the love and support. Y'all was holding it down for the We Are What's Left family today. Also remember, you guys, joy is an act of resistance. When it gets a little too heavy, because it does get heavy, I feel like we wake up there something every day. They are trying to flood the zone. They are trying to throw us off our rocker, but don't let them do so. Thursday will be if you're in Texas, we're going to be going over things that'll be in on the ballot. So we'll probably be doing that over the next few weeks up until, because we might not be able to get through all of them in one day, and we just want to keep reiterating what to vote for on the 4th. Yes, we have $87 left. So if everybody sent I would say 3, but I know 59 people ain't really in here. If everybody sent $5, we can close that goal out completely. But either way, I'm going to bed. Okay, don't matter. It ain't holding me up. YouTube, thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, share the live. Make sure you're subscribed, and I appreciate you all for being here. I'm going to end you guys now before we do our